per my expectation as a director, because we have around 100 odd registrations, right? But still the count is 31, 32 only. All right. Anyway, they will join us. Okay, let's hope that they will join us soon. Okay, and as Ankit has rightly pointed out, that we will talk in today's deliberation on the role of ICT, particularly the technology, or rather how we can integrate this technology in our day-to-day life as an academician or maybe as a teacher, right? But if you simply look around, okay, say if you look at maybe 10 years down the line, all these things were beyond our imagination. But what has happened, maybe probably in the last decade, and particularly in last 2 to 3 years, from 22 onwards, okay, probably this is the third year. So we are witnessing a lot of technological development taking place in this particular area. Okay, but as a teacher, okay, let me be very clear. Rather, allow me to begin with a bold statement. That is, now we don't have a choice on whether we do use ICT. Okay, the question is how well we do it. Okay, so that is the only thing which is remain in our hand, right? That is the only aspect. So you have to. What I mean to say, it has been made mandatory, and if you look around, okay, the students are equipped with all those sort of tools. Okay, so let's say being a teacher, if we are not well acquainted with all those things, definitely someday or the other we will have to face problem, right? So it is mandatorily needed, right? It is mandatorily needed, and as I have told you now, we do not have a choice. Rather, it is compulsion from the government front as well. That is, we have to make use of all these ICT tools. Okay, but at the same time, each technology has got two sides. Okay, there is always pros and cons. Okay, and AI is not the exception. So we'll just try to touch upon one important aspect of AI. Okay, wherein we will just try to explore what are the gray areas as well. Okay, what are the, as Ankit has pointed out, that is, what are the issues when it comes to ethics and all, right? So ethical considerations are again there. Okay, some privacy considerations are again there. Okay, but I know that I am addressing to a diverse crowd, right? You are from various discipline, but most of you are from science and technology. Okay, that has made my job little bit easier, right? So some way or the other we are using these tools. Okay, maybe not all, but certain tools we are definitely making use of, right? So what we'll do, we'll start the deliberation. I hope it's 11:36, right? So we have waited for around 5 to 6 minutes for the others to join. Anyway, like, just allow me to share my presentation. Let me share the entire screen with you. I hope I'm loud and clear. Any one of you just confirm whether you can hear me properly. Is there any issue with
Yes, sir.
regard
Yes,
to?
sir. You are very
Okay,
clear.
ठीक है sir. Thank you very much for the confirmation. And if you look at actually the implementation strategy of this program, it is expected that the resource person should talk for 1 hour, and maybe 30 minutes are explicitly dedicated. Sir, now I request you to mute yourself. Dhananjay sir, yes sir. Okay. So you are continuously muting. Okay, right. So this is what is there on the agenda. Okay, this is what we will just try to have a look at. Okay, and I'll keep my discussion. No worries. Okay, even if you are completely new to this AI, doesn't matter. Okay, we'll just try to make it as simple as possible so that you can understand the things and how these things works basically, and whatever tools you are using. Okay, what kind of technology they use, that is what we'll just try to understand. Okay, so we will begin with what is AI, that is from scratch. Okay, then we'll just try to understand what are the peculiar characteristics of an intelligent system. Okay, then gradually we'll move ahead with soft computing. Okay, soft computing, don't get astonished. Okay, if you listen to this term, it is nothing but the AI, right? It is nothing but the AI. So what are the constituents of soft computing? What is computing with words? So whenever we talk about computing, the very first things which comes to our mind is we are dealing with numbers. So is it really possible to compute with words? That is what we will just try to explore. And probably we'll end with what are the various terminologies used in this? That is machine learning, deep learning. Again, we'll not go into the technical aspects of it. We'll keep our discussion on a very fundamental level. Okay. And at the end, we will just try to explore certain application areas. So this is what is the outline for this first session. Okay. Second session, what we'll do, we'll have some hands-on on some of these tools. Right. So, having said this, let me begin with now. I hope all of you are Maharashtra only. So, I do have a multilingual support. I can speak in English as well as Hindi and Marathi, right? So, I would love to interact with you. I would love to listen your perception about all these technology, right? And that is the only objective of posing these questions in front of you. Let's say if you look at the AI itself. So what is your take on this? आपको क्या लगता है कि what AI is all about? So what is artificial intelligence? Maybe you let's say you can make you, as I said, that is I have got multilingual support, so you can speak in Hindi as well as Marathi. That is not a problem. ठीक है? तो क्या लगता है आपको AI क्या है? What is AI? What is your perception about AI? Or a layman's perception about AI? And whether you are really using it? Okay, if yes, how and what are the various devices which are intelligent nowadays? Okay, तो क्या लगता है आपको भाई क्या what is your perception about AI? What is AI as far as AI is concerned? What do you feel? What is AI? कोई बताएगा? अरे सर मेरे ख्याल से you have unmuted yourself, धनंजय काड़े सर. See, there are 8 components of NEP 2020, right? So we are looking at the ICT integration, okay, in NEP 2020. So as I said that now the government has made it mandatory, right? So this is one integral part of any educational setup. Right? Now we don't have choice. Repeatedly I am telling you, आपके और मेरे पास में चॉइस नहीं है. देखिए चॉइसेस जब होती हैं जब आप कई बार अभी देखिए गवर्नमेंट ने, इफ यू आर वेल अवेयर, okay, what has happened, the government of Maharashtra, they have come up with a government resolution for the implementation of NEP 2020. What has happened, they waited for around 2 to 3 years, but there was no activity from the institutions, rather universities. So what they did, they have gone one step beyond and they have made it mandatory. So on the similar line, it may happen that in future you will find that the use of these technology, or maybe the government will come up with certain regulatory guidelines in this regard. Again, there are pros and cons, as I have told you. But क्या लगता है आपको? What is AI? What is your perception about AI? What do you feel? Okay, definitely, I will talk. Okay, there is nothing. But what is your say on AI? What do you feel? कोई बताएगा आप में से? Anybody from computer science? No, no one is from computer science. Hello, I hope you people are with me, and we are well connected, and I am loud and clear.
हाँ सर,
यस
मैं
सर.
चौहान सर बोल रहा हूँ.
जी चौहान सर बोलिए. बोलिए सर, क्या लगता है AI क्या है आपके लिए? What is your perception
हेलो.
about it? हाँ जी बोलिए ना.
हाँ सर,
चौहान सर. Yes sir.
ये AI जो है
जी.
कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता है,
Very good.
आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कहते हैं.
जी.
ये एक संगणक प्रणाली है. ये मशीनची मानवी बुद्धिमत्तेची आवश्यकता असलेली कामे जसे विचार करणे, शिकणे, समस्या सोडवणे, भाषा समजणे, सोप्या भाषेत या असं मशीन मानसिक क्षमता.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. ठीक है, you have covered almost all the aspect of AI. मानसिक क्षमता, decision making, right?
हाँ.
So, sir, your discipline,
यस सर.
आपका discipline कौन सा है सर? I am sorry. आप कौन सी faculty से हैं? There is some
हेलो
reason
सर.
asking. Yes sir. चौहान sir. Yes sir.
हाँ, मैं कंप्यूटर साइंस का हूँ सर.
कंप्यूटर साइंस के है, इसलिए आपने
यस
बहुत
यस.
सही कहा. So that
ओके
was
सर.
the objective. Okay, what I
हाँ.
thought that you are from some other discipline. Anyway, so Dr. Santosh Chavan sir has rightly pointed out that AI is nothing but you can say it is the study of mechanism that think and act like human. That is, to put it in very vague term, to mimicking human behavior. Now, what is so special about human behavior, as Santosh Chavan sir has pointed out, that is we are capable of learning, Okay, we know how to take decisions. So decision making, reasoning, okay. Then one more important aspect is there. We have got some comprehension capabilities. So comprehension and so on. So as a matter of fact, if let's say if we incorporate all these characteristics, that is the learning capability, just like as a human being, we are capable of learning. Okay. Or maybe a decision making capability just like human being, or maybe reasoning ability, and so on, into a machine, we may call that machine as an intelligent machine. Okay, sir. Dhananjay Kade sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So what is it? This is a very layman's definition. We will have a little bit more comprehensive definition of AI, right? Definitely after some time. Okay, wherein we will just try to elaborate what is it exactly. Okay. But for time being, as Professor has rightly pointed out, it is mimicking human behavior. Now, human intelligence. So there are certain things which are essentially needed whenever you want to call any system as an intelligent system. So what are those characteristics? Sorry, Dhananjay Kade sir, I request you. Yes. Okay. So what is it? Intelligent system. Now, intelligent system must have these four peculiar characteristics. What are those characteristics? The very first one is by default is the intelligence itself. That is, system must perform some meaningful operation. Okay, they must be capable of interpreting information just like we as a human being can interpret the information. Okay, then comprehension is the another important thing. Okay, that is the relation between the phenomena or object. Okay, say for example, yes, sir. Dhananjay sir, I request you, something is wrong with your handset or, okay. Now I hope, hello. Sir, you are muting, unmuting yourself. Okay. All right. Let's see whether it works or not. Right. So comprehension is a relationship between phenomena or object. Let's say if I give you the relationship between X and Y and Z, okay, so you can very well deduce the relationship between X and Z. So on the similar line, these intelligent systems are capable of comprehending the relation between phenomena or object. Okay. So just like human being. So what we are trying to do is exactly, to put it in very straightforward words, we are trying to mimic the human behavior. So mimicking that human behavior has got these three things. But last but not the least, this is very important to note. As a human being, we are capable of applying the information, whatever we have acquired, to new condition. So on the similar line, these intelligent systems, they are capable enough to apply that knowledge, whatever they have acquired in the learning or the training phase, to new condition. So you will not have a scenario wherein it will not come up with any answer. Okay. It will not come up with the answer. Look at any tool for that purpose. So you will find that it will come up with some or the other answer. Maybe that answer may be wrong. Okay, that decision what, so see, human decisions are again exposed to that kind of environment. है ना? कई बार whatever decision we take, we do not take all the decisions which are right. Okay, so many times we'll end up by just taking wrong decision. Okay, that is again possible. So on the similar line, these intelligent system again, they are capable of taking decision, but that those decision may be right or wrong. Right. Now, if you simply look at your home, I don't know, today is Sunday, right? Almost all of you must be at your home, right? So if you simply look around, okay, you will find that a lot of electronic gadgets in particular, okay, they are, the manufacturer claim that they are intelligent some way or the other. Say, for example, if you look at the washing machine, okay, washing machine is intelligent. Okay, most of the manufacturer, they claim that it is fuzzy enabled washing machine, right? Simply look at the air conditioner installed at your home. Again, it is intelligent. Why? Because it is capable of taking decision. So what it will do, it goes off when nobody is there in the room. Okay, so there are sensors involved which will directly take the real time data and take the appropriate decision. So what I'm trying to emphasize is, by putting some 20 to 30 rule in any microcontroller chip. The chip is not costing more than 500 rupees, right? In that chip, let's say if we program it in such a manner that it is capable of taking decision, washing machine, maybe air conditioner or microwave oven, then we can claim that all those machines are intelligent machines. Now, if you look at the cost of this automation is again not more than 1,000 rupees. So by investing 1,000 rupees, okay, you can make any damn system, okay, as an intelligent system. We'll just try to understand these things in greater detail, right, later on also. But if you look at those who are from computer science, okay, they must be well acquainted. Even let's say, even if you are not from computer science, but nowadays up to 12th, the computer science is there. I think in school it is being taught, right? So those days are not far away, wherein maybe primary school they will have a subject on AI, right? So what is it? There are two approaches whenever we talk about problem solving using computers. One is the mathematical models, okay, which is programmed in a particular manner, okay, and which uses you can say the exact mathematical modeling of any problem you wish to solve, okay. And the second approach is what they call it as the AI based approach or the soft computing based approach, right? So there are two ways in which any computing problem can be sorted out. The very first one is the hard computing, which is nothing but the traditional approach, and the other way around, we do have a soft computing approach, which is nothing but the which is nothing but the AI based approach, right? So what is so special about this soft computing approach? We'll just try to understand. Okay, again, I will not keep my discussion on very technical front. We'll just try to have a cursory look at all those aspects. So as far as the hard computing is concerned, we do have precise model wherein you have exact value of any particular variable. Say for example, pi is equal to 3.14 or a is equal to 3 point something and so on. So we do have precise model, exact values. Okay. And what do we do when we use hard computing for solving any problem? We use the symbolic logic reasoning, and the traditional numerical modeling and such methods are employed here, right? On the other hand, if you look at the soft computing approach, what is it? Here we use the approximate model. We do not have the precise model. We do have approximate models, right? Now, what is approximation is all about? Now, I'll just try to relate it with some real life decision making process. Okay. If you look at our decision making process, that is the human decision making process, we all the time take decision based on approximate knowledge or imprecise knowledge. Say, for example, you are driving a car, okay, and you are in a mall, okay, or rather a parking lot of a mall, okay, and you want to park your car. So what do you do for parking purposes? Whether you get down and you measure the exact amount of space available to you, and then you take the decision whether I can park the vehicle there or not, or you take decision based on approximation, right? So we do not do so. That is, हम कभी गाड़ी से उतर के exact जगह नहीं देखते हैं. The other way around, let's say you are on a highway and you want to overtake a car which is just in front of you. Again, what you will do, when how you will take this decision whether you can overtake or not, right? By simply looking around, looking at the space available. Again, you do not have the exact idea how much space is available, and that space is, again, it is dynamic. Okay, maybe it was earlier available when you actually try to overtake the car. It may happen that all of a sudden there is a turn. Okay, so you so many times. So this is how our decision making is. So our decision making is based on approximation, imprecise knowledge. Okay. So what does this soft computing approach does? It basically looks at approximate reasoning, okay, functional approximation and randomized search. Now here you need not have to search the entire database, okay, because you want to overtake. Okay, so you will simply look around, rather you will explore the data available in the that particular area, and you will take the decision. So we do not have to search the all the rules available in the data set or all the data set, the entire data set. Rather, we go for a randomized search. So definitely you take quick decision. Okay, now again, that decision is subject to right or wrong. Okay, it may be possible that many times you are taking a right decision. So it may happen that the vehicle from the other side is coming all the way, and then there is a possibility of collision, right? So that decision may be right or wrong, but we take decision all the time based on imprecise knowledge or approximate knowledge. And there is the glitch, right? This is how it is different from your hard computing approach, a broader perspective. Let's try to understand this in some greater detail. When we will just try to now look at the definition of soft computing in, and maybe in some a more comprehensive definition, I can say, right? This is a very foolproof definition of soft computing or AI based approach. What is it? It is the symbiotic use of many engineering problem solving discipline. Okay, now this covers almost, now this is not. I'll extend it to a little bit more. Not any emerging problem, many emerging problem solving discipline. Now discipline I am referring to. So you can apply AI to any damn area. You tell me whether it is psychology, whether it is human decision making, whether it is linguistic, and whatnot. Okay, you will find that some or the other application of AI is present in that area. Now, as I said that earlier, we have seen some vague definition or very broader perspective of AI. Now we'll just try to make it little bit more clear with the help of this definition, which has been given by Professor Lutfi Alizadeh, right? So he was an Iranian. Okay, just I'm sharing you this detail because we will in between हम कहीं तो भी एक छोटी सी story भी देखेंगे इनकी. तो जहाँ पे हम बात करेंगे कि भाई how whenever you talk little bit new or whenever you talk something out of the box, okay, how it is taken up by the rest of the world, right? Now look at the definition. Look at the very first word. It is in contrast to traditional hard computing, meaning thereby it is a paradigm shift. It is a complete paradigm shift of how do we compute. Okay, so it is in contrast to traditional hard computing. Soft computing exploits the tolerance for imprecision, uncertainty, and partial truth. Now, what does this mean? Okay, say washing the clothes. Again, you don't have precise knowledge. Okay, what it does whenever you put your clothes in a, you can say fully automatic machine or an intelligent machine. Okay, it will simply look at the weight of that particular cloth. Okay, maybe it will check out what kind of clothes they are, and accordingly, it will take the decision that is how much detergent is to be mixed. Okay, how much hot and cold water is to be mixed, and let's say how to wash it, which particular washing mechanism should be applied, whether it should be washed with hard wash kind of a mechanism or soft or gentle and whatnot, right? So only 26, 27 rules are sufficient enough. So you are dealing with imprecise knowledge. Again, when you wash with your hand as a human being, okay, we do it on approximation. We do not have exact information whether it is 100% cotton or 100% woolen or whatever, right? So there are mixed kind of things as well, right? So tolerance for imprecision. यानी मैं बात कर रहा हूँ imprecise knowledge, uncertainty. The word is full of uncertainties. You are not sure what will happen. Okay, maybe in next 1 hour so or next one day or so, right? And partial truth. Partial truth meaning thereby this soft computing approach or AI based approach talks about partial truth, meaning thereby everything is true to the degree of some truthfulness. It is not 100% true or 100% false, right? It is true to the degree of some truthfulness. Okay, that one has to understand. And what is the advantage of having this kind of approach is whatever solution you design, they are tractable, robust, लो कॉस्ट. मैंने जैसे कहा आपको कि 1000 रुपए में आपने वॉशिंग मशीन को इंटेलिजेंट वॉशिंग मशीन में कन्वर्ट कर दिया, या आपने आपके जो एयर कंडीशनर को उसको इंटेलिजेंट इसमें कन्वर्ट कर दिया बाय simply investing 1000 rupees more, and better report with reality. Definitely, it has a better report with reality, right? So this is how the soft computing is all about, right? Now, again, let me share one important aspect of Professor Zadeh. He was basically an Iranian, right? He was an Iranian, and you will be surprised to note that he worked for his entire life in University of California, Berkeley, right? Where he was a professor and head department of electrical and computer engineering. Normally, we used to earlier electrical, electronics, or computer, they were together, right? Because the parent branch is ultimately the electrical only. So he was a professor chair over there, and with his name, now there is a chair. Okay, Professor Zadeh. Now you know the relationship between US and the Iran. right? But this is how the developed nation think, right? So even though this fellow, if you look at the personality, if you simply Google it out, he was a small man, maybe 5 feet or so, right? But he has contributed a lot, and that's why he is also known as father of soft computing, right? Professor Zadeh, right? So having said this, let us see, let us try to sum up what we have already discussed. Objective क्या है आपका? Mimicking human linguistic reasoning, right? So it is mimicking human linguistic reasoning is the objective of any AI or the soft computing approach. And there are four important main constituents of soft computing or AI. Okay, what are they? The very first one is the fuzzy system. Second is the neural network. Third one is the evolutionary computing, and the fourth one is probabilistic reasoning. Now, each one of them, they are good in some or the other area. Now, what are the areas they are good at? That we'll just try to understand. Say, for example, if you are dealing with imprecise knowledge, then the fuzzy systems are best. And that's why washing machines and maybe air conditioner or microwave oven, okay, wherein we do not have precise knowledge, we do have imprecise knowledge. These fuzzy systems, that is FIS more specifically, fuzzy inference systems, they are deployed there. Second is the neural network. Okay, I think Chavan sir has pointed out that they are capable of learning just like human beings. So neural networks has got that capability of learning. So whenever it comes to learning, okay, you need to have neural network as a architecture. Okay, then probabilistic reasoning, wherein when you are dealing with uncertainties, and evolutionary computing, wherein you want to optimize certain parameters, optimization. Now, depending upon your need or the problem you are trying to solve, you may have some hybrid system as well. Hybrid in the sense that is neuro fuzzy or probabilistic neural network and fuzzy and so on and so forth, right? So let's say if you require, if your problem can be easily sorted out by using fuzzy inference system, definitely there is no need to go for hybrid model, right? You can very well sort it out by using the fuzzy kind of an environment, right? So that we'll just try to have a look at. Okay, maybe some few examples again. We'll just try to understand what these fuzzy systems are all about. Okay, but we'll not be able to explore maybe the probabilistic reasoning and evolutionary computing because they are altogether different. But we will definitely explore what are fuzzy systems and what are neural networks and so on. Okay, but before moving ahead with all those aspects, okay, let me sum up what we have already seen. So we do have two approaches. One is the traditional approach or the conventional approach or the hard computing approach, more specifically, wherein we have mathematical word, hard data, qualitative methods, and bivalent reasoning. What does this mean? Mathematical word meaning thereby you have equations and whatnot. Hard data meaning thereby you have precise data. A is equal to something, B is equal to something, and then you manipulate them. Okay. And we use quantitative methods, like say maybe binary search or any other search mechanism for that purpose. And we do have bivalent reasoning. We do not have multivalent reasoning here because if you look at the conventional way of computer science, it is in zeros and one. Either something is true or something is false. So it is bivalent reasoning only, right? But if you look at the AI based approach or a soft computing approach, look at the possibilities here. अब क्या क्या कर सकते हैं आप यहाँ पे? You have got linguistic word, that is you can very well deal with words as well. Okay, that is I'll explain. We will have detailed discussion on that is how to deal with the linguistic kind of environment. Okay, you have soft data. You do not have precise data. Okay, it is within some range. Okay, interpretation, understanding, explanation, qualitative methods. That is if you simply recall. Okay, randomized search. Okay, we will not search the entire database. We take decision based on the local data sets only. Okay, qualitative methods. Okay, definitely it will save your time and energy. Now, bivalent or multivalent logic. It is not only 0 and 1, but the values between 0 and 1. Right. So 0 and 1 are no doubt they are there. They are the integral part of that particular system. But apart from that, we may have n number of possibilities, say starting from zero point 0.1, 0.2 up to 0.99995 and so on, right? So anything between 0 and 1, that is nothing but the bivalent or multivalent reasoning. And this is the beauty of this particular approach, right? And it has, as a matter of fact, it has transformed how the computer works. Now, almost all the things, you look at any damn thing, you will find that the manufacturers claim that it is intelligent some way or the other, right? Now, having said this, what are the advantages of having this kind of approach? तो इसका soft computing या AI based approach का आपको फायदा क्या है? Models can be linguistic, that is, you can give voice command, okay, or you can describe. See, before the birth of this, you can say the soft computing, it was not possible to deal with the linguistic kind of a data. Let's say you want to describe somebody as very smart or very tall or very handsome. Okay, it is not possible in the conventional approach or the traditional approach, because we have exact value of that smartness or that greediness. But here now we can use that very, and we can apply all those aspects. Okay, and we can deal with that. I'll show you with some example as well. Okay, सिंपल है ये, डेफिनेटली कॉम्प्रिहेंसिबल है. ओके, नो ब्लैक बॉक्सेस, यू कैन वेरी वेल कंक्लूड दैट विच पर्टिकुलर रूल हैज फायर्ड एंड हाउ यू टुक दैट डिसीजन. डेफिनेटली the rule base is small, so definitely it is fast when computing. It will take decision within no time. So you do not realize when you switch on the washing machine and put it in auto mode with some timer set. Okay, rest of the things you leave it to the machine. Okay, now it will look at the clothes and it will go on taking decision based on the kind of input whatever is there. The kind of input is the types of clothes, right? So fast when computing and definitely good in practice. So investing maybe 500 bucks or maybe 1,000 rupees, you can automate any damn process, right? Any damn job, right? Having said this, that is why it has become, it is so popular nowadays. Now we are witnessing AI in almost all the areas. But let's say आप में से कुछ लोग हैं जिनको, those who want to understand these concept up to some greater detail, okay, तो ये तीन चीजें आप you can explore it on your own, okay, later on again. So one is the computing with words, second is the theory of information transmission, and third is the computational theory of perceptions, CTP जिसको कहा जाता है. So second and third is little bit different, that it is not possible for us to talk on those aspects, but we will definitely try to explore what is computing with words, right? So what is computing with words? This was the very first thing we need to know, or rather we need to brainstorm on this. Is it really possible to compute with words? है ना? मैं आपको नंबर नहीं दे रहा हूँ और आपसे कह रहा हूँ कि भाई कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन दे रहा हूँ कुछ पर्टिकुलर एंटिटी के बारे में, एंड इफ आई विल आस्क यू टू कंप्यूट विद दोज इंग्लिश लाइक स्टेटमेंट, तो आपको क्या लगता है वेदर इट इज पॉसिबल टू कंप्यूट विद द वर्ड्स? Okay, so if you look at the era before this, you can say the technological development, okay, you will be surprised that there were no solutions available. That is how to process natural language, okay, or how to process commands which are in some or the other natural language. Okay, and the second important aspect is we are more biased with the numbers. Say, for example, if I talk about somebody, some XYZ person, and I am claiming that he is a very intelligent person, whether you will, very intelligent, okay, whether you will believe me, because I am dealing with words, not with the numbers. But let's say if you ask me a question, sir, the next things which comes to your mind is, okay, sir, what is the academic profile of the person under discussion? तो आप बोलेंगे कि सर, लेट्स से इफ आई कम अप विद द आंसर that he stood always with a 9.5 or 9.0 as a pointer from school days to the college, graduation, PhD, and whatnot. Okay, then you start. So we give due respect to numbers. Okay, we do not give respect to the words. Okay, so but this is human nature, right? This is human nature. So when I talk about the his score sheet and all, you start believing that that fellow is really intelligent, right? But let's say if I simply make a statement like that, that fellow is very intelligent, very smart, okay, nobody will accept it. So what I'm trying to emphasize is the numbers are respected in the society, not the words. Okay, na? So it is number oriented ultimately. Let's say if you are calling that maybe for that purpose Mr. Adani or Mr. RIL owner, okay, he is a billionaire or trillionaire if I'm making some statement. But moment I say that he is having assets worth rupees these many thousand crore or these many lakh crore, right? You start believing, well, because the numbers speak. What I'm trying to say is numbers speaks, but the words, they do not, right? So but is it really possible to compute with words? That is what we'll just try to understand. As I have told you, that is the importance of computing with words. Okay, it has been derived from the fact that much of the human knowledge, and especially word knowledge, is based on perception. Now this is again one important aspect we need to understand. तो perception जो बोलते हैं अपन, we use it very casually, but most of the time, okay, the perception, my perception with regard to a particular thing is different, yours is different. Now, how to process this perception? So before this soft computing, it was not possible, not at all possible. I am making a bold statement. It was not at all possible to process perception, but this technology has made it possible. This AI or soft computing has made it possible, right? So a natural language is a system for describing perception. So you may come up with some statement with regard to certain things, and let's say whether it is possible to compute. अब ये समझने के लिए हम एक छोटा सा example लेते हैं. Here, definitely, I would love to listen from you. Okay, what is your take on this? So I'm giving you one simple question. Okay, we intend to find out what is Rekha's age. That is the question under consideration. Okay, Rekha is a lady. Okay, and with regard to Rekha, I am providing you two important facts, right? Two proposition, two perceptions, or whatever you call it as. Okay, for time being. Proposition one, that is P1, is Rekha has a son in mid-20s, and proposition P2 is Rekha has a daughter in mid-30s. Okay. Now she has a son in mid-20s and she has a daughter in mid-30s. And the third proposition is a word knowledge, which is known usually known to almost all of us. That is usually the mother's age at birth of child is approximately 20 or asterisk 20 for short, or approximately 40 or asterisk 40 for short. This is in general, right? Barring few exceptions. So what I'm trying to say, with this much knowledge, that is P1 and P2, plus you know the word knowledge, is it possible to compute Rekha's age? Right now, here I'll take a pause for a minute or so, okay, so that you can simply think over. So, is it really possible to compute Rekha's age with only these two statements? Okay, which are once again English, no number, nothing. Okay. Now we are trying to understand, is it possible to compute with words? है ना, ये समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. तो क्या लगता है आपको? She has a son in mid-20s and she has a daughter in mid-30s. So those who are from computer science, okay, I will exclude them. But other people, again, there is no rocket science involved. Is the only thing is that you need to apply your logic. Okay. So what do you feel? क्या लगता है आपको? देखिए, टूल्स जो हम यूज करते हैं, टूल्स के पीछे की टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है, लॉजिक क्या है, ये समझने की हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं. And that too in the most simple manner. Okay, we are not trying to make it as complicated as it is there in the text. Okay, so we'll just try to understand. क्या लगता है आप में से कोई बोलेगा? Rekha's age, some approximate value, or you may come up with the answer कि sir, no, it is not possible to compute Rekha's age by simply having these two propositions in hand, that is P1 and P2. I hope all of you are with me. I don't know what's the exact number. Let me check out. Okay.
Approx 50.
Sorry, sir. Approx 50.
Approx 50.
Approx 50. How you arrived at that figure, sir?
Sir, as per the given information, the girl, the daughter is in mid-30s, and at the time of giving
Well
birth
said.
to her, and the information is given there.
Very well said.
So, considering 20 age at the
Yes.
when she was giving the birth to the daughter,
Yes.
so it gives nearly 55.
I'll give you a approximately. No, you are exact. You are exactly. You have solved the problem. So, but how we can solve it with the help of a computer? This you have applied your logic. Okay. Now, how to? Because what we are doing, we are not giving any value like say P1 or the age son is equal to 25 or age daughter is equal to 35. Okay, that is the conventional approach. But we are making some English-like statement. Okay, now how it is to be transformed into a computation-ready world. So, Professor, you have rightly pointed out that her age is 55, to be very precise, or maybe she is an lady who is having 50 plus approx. Right, that is again correct. Now, what we will do, we'll just try to solve this with the help of the this concept, whatever I am talking about, that Rekha has a son in mid-20s. This can be transformed as age son is asterisk 25. Okay, and she has a daughter in mid-30s. Okay, that was the second statement which I have made. So that can be translated or appreciated. This process of translating those English-like statement to computation-ready word is called as the appreciation. Okay, appreciation is pretty simple. What is it? That P1 we are trying to translate into P1 asterisk. What is P1 asterisk? Age son is asterisk 25. Now I am making it computation ready. P2 asterisk is age daughter is asterisk 35. And the third one is the word knowledge, which is almost known to every one of us. That is age mother at birth is usually asterisk 20, asterisk 40. Now, if we aggregate these three, that is P1, P2, and P3, okay, asterisk 25, usually asterisk 20, 40, fusion, that is and, asterisk 35, usually asterisk 20, asterisk 40. So you can very well arrive at a figure that Rekha's age is 55, right? Because you have very well computed. Okay, you have rather appreciated this information English like statement to computation ready word, and now you are applying that aggregation or fusion function, okay, so as to get the desired answer. So you can do it quite easily, right? You can do it quite easily. So it is possible to compute with words. Now again, when we talk about the you can say the natural language processing or proposition and all, so there are again various levels of this particular concept. Okay, there's a level 0, level 1, and level 2. So what is it? We will just try to understand. Okay, level 0 is nothing but your conventional mechanism, wherein the computing with numbers, that is wherein the carriers of informations are numbers. Say you will explicitly say age Rekha is equal to 55, or uh, daughter age is 35 and son age is equal to 25, something like that. Okay, wherein the carriers of informations are numbers. Okay, that is 0. That is the traditional approach. Level 1 is computing with words. Carriers of informations are numbers plus words. I hope my slides are visible to you. देख पा रहे हैं आप? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Tell you. So computing with numbers, wherein the carriers of informations are numbers plus words. Okay, that is level 1. Okay, typically it includes a collection of fuzzy if then and so's. Okay, as I have told you, that is the washing machine or maybe the air conditioner kind of a thing, wherein you can see you need to identify the number of parameters you are dealing with, and then you can frame some rules based on the total number of parameters. That those rules may be 18, 27, 36, whatever, right? And what do? We fed those rules, rather we embed those rules into a microcontroller and put that microcontroller in place. Okay, whenever you switch on, that controller will take the control of all the components attached to that particular machine, and it will automate that job. So this was very first time tossed by Professor Zadeh way back in 1973, wherein he talked about outline of a new approach to the analysis of complex systems and decision process. Right. So he has come up with some fantastic ideas, level 0, level 1. But there is one more level, as I have talked about, is the level 2, wherein the computing with words, the carriers of informations are numbers plus words plus propositions. So not only numbers, okay, but words. But if you just try to recall that plus P3, जो हमने बात की, that is there, right? That is the proposition, right? And this was again the landmark paper by Professor Zadeh only, okay, wherein he talks about from computing with numbers to computing with words, from manipulation of measurement to manipulation of perception. So this was the very first time when it started, people started thinking, well, you can process the perceptions as well. Okay. So, but what has happened? What has happened? Okay, this is how we can apply that concept. So whatever problem we have looked at, it is basically level 2. Okay, CW. Okay, computing with words level 2, 0, 1 and 2. So it is the third level. So what is called CW today is basically a level 2, right? Level 2 computing with words, right? So appreciation का process मैंने आपको बताया. Precision में हम क्या करते हैं? What do we do? We simply translate that English like statement to a computation ready statement like uh, son's age is or age plus P1 asterisk son's age is asterisk 25 asterisk 35, daughter age is asterisk 35, and then what do? We manipulate them, we and aggregate, or maybe we will perform some or the other logical operation and we will arrive at the answer. So appreciation में हम क्या करते हैं? It is the meaning which plays an essential role in computing with words. So whenever you are dealing with natural language processing, appreciation is nothing but the conversion of unappreciated raw proposition. If you look at the kind of information I have provided you with regard to Rekha plus P1, it was she has a son in mid 20s and she has a daughter in mid 30s. So what is it? Unappreciated proposition, raw fact about any entity expressed in natural language into what do? Into a computation ready proposition, that is P star. Now, if you just recall the next slide, it was P star, wherein we talk about age son is asterisk 25, age daughter is asterisk 35. Now, you have done that particular activity. That is, you have translated those things into a computation ready word, that is appreciation you have applied. So, appreciation is nothing but the modelization. Let's say this way you can modelize anything, you can solve any real world problem, I tell you. So you can easily solve any real world problem. Now, we will just try to have a look at maybe very fast because I don't know how much time is left with us because we need to close up this particular theoretical aspect, okay, in the first session. Second session, we will have something on all these tools which exploits this technology, okay, at the back end, okay, like say large language model, chat GPT, and whatnot. Okay, so problem solving, solution of problems stored in natural language. Okay, say for example, you may have certain objectives, constraints, okay, and then what do? We normally frame some if then else rules, fuzzy if then else rules more specifically. Okay, so decision analysis you may use it. The best example to understand this is what you use it very frequently on whenever you visit any website. Okay, you will find either Siri or something else will come up to help you out. So that is chatbot, wherein, as a matter of fact, some application is pretending that somebody is sitting on the other side and he or she is interacting with you. But as a matter of fact, it is a program, okay, which is programmed using this technology, question answering. So roughly, it will be able to satisfy you to the tune of 75 to 80%, not 100%. Okay, there are certain things wherein it may come up with answer. I will get back to you soon. Okay, because let's say if it is not there in the database of that chatbot, definitely you will not get the appropriate answer. But routine queries, maybe 75 to 80% can be easily sorted out. So question answering system and search engine, they use it this concept very एक्सप्लिसिटली. लेकिन हमको यहाँ समझने की जरूरत है कि भाई इट वाज अ पैराडिग्म शिफ्ट समवेयर. आई थिंक आई हैव टॉट दिस टर्म. ओके, सो कंप्यूटेशन विथ नंबर्स टू कंप्यूटेशन विथ words, it was a complete paradigm shift, okay, which has revolutionized the how we carry out the computations. Okay, so actually, in case of traditional system, we explicitly program, we write down each and every step. Let's say if A is greater than B, then do this and so on. So we are very particular in that. Whereas in this case, it is not at all like the case. We do not explicitly program them. Rather, they learn on their own and they come up with some or the other answer. That answer is again subject to right or wrong. Okay, just like human decisions, but they will come up with something or the other. So it was the paper of Professor Zades, okay, wherein he has emphasized on that computing with words is possible. यहाँ पे एक थोड़ा मोटिवेशन के लिए एक छोटी सी स्टोरी मैंने कहा था आपसे कि instead of getting appreciation from the word community, it was criticized like anything, right? What has happened? when he read out this paper in an international conference, okay, that conference was chaired by, this is just for the motivational purpose, there is no other reason to narrate this story here. So, क्या हुआ कि जब when he read out this paper, Professor Zadeh, okay, it was the conference was chaired by one of the renowned scientists, Rudolf Kalman. Okay, those who are from electronics, उनको पता होगा कि there is a Kalman filter and so on. He was a great system scientist. Okay, he was chairing that session. So in what way he criticized it? You allow me to read it out as it is, because quote unquote, okay, look at the way in which it has been criticized. So I would like to comment briefly on Professor Zadeh's presentation. His proposal could be severely, furiously, even brutally criticized from a technical point of view. Right? This would be out of place here, but a blunt question remains. Is Professor Zadeh presenting an important idea, or is he indulging wishful thinking? That is what we used to call it as daydreaming, or Hindi में कहें तो मुंगेरी लाल के सपने. See, these were the words by a great scientist, by a brilliant scientist, system scientist, Rudolf Kahn. Okay, and this is the extract from the book. If you are a little bit more keen to go through that, okay, you can read it out. It is available on net. Okay, and this is the extract from the preface itself. Okay, fuzzy logic and mathematics. Okay, historical perspective. Okay, wherein it is a book of Oxford Press only. Okay, wherein the authors they have come up with this particular story. But what has happened later on, you will be surprised. Okay, you will be surprised. So it has given birth to a new logic, what they call it as the fuzzy logic. मैंने जो कहा आपको कि fuzzy rules हम बनाएंगे, and we can sort out any damn problem using this particular approach. So fuzziness is basically it is the unsharpness of boundaries. है ना? We need to understand this in some greater detail. तो यहाँ हम समझेंगे those who are from mathematics, okay, or even if let's say even if you are not from mathematics, लेकिन 12वीं तक जो हमने maths पढ़ा है, तो we very well know our conventional set theory, okay, and we know the operations on that set theory. Fuzzy logic is little bit different. Okay, it is unsharpness. It is imprecise value. Okay, fuzzy means unsharp. Okay, we do not have hard boundaries here. So, what is the advantage of having this unsharpness? It is very close to your real life decision making process. Okay, so it is unsharpness. It was motivated from the way in which we take decision, okay, human decision making and so on, okay, or natural language processing and so on. So crisp set, that is the conventional set, wherein you have, let's say if I am talking about set of odd numbers, और मैं आपको कोई नंबर बोलता हूँ, तो you can very well come up कि well sir this number belong to this particular set or it is not, right? Something like that. Set of rose flowers, okay, set of persons having age 30, and if I say that somebody's age is 30.5, okay, you will definitely say that the person is doesn't belong to this particular set and so on. So conventional set, we have got very hard boundaries. So if you simply cross the limit, okay, odd numbers, even numbers, rose flowers, maybe 30, if you say 31, okay, you are excluded from that particular set. This is conventional set theory, right? What is fuzzy set? Fuzzy set is altogether different, wherein we have a space U. Okay. Now here I'll be using what we have already seen. Preceded through graduation. Precedation you know very well. Okay. Preceded through graduation. That is association with a membership. So each fuzzy set there is a membership function associated with. That is mu A. And what is it? It is usually a number between the 0 and 1. As I have told you, that is these fuzzy variables, they acquire values between 0 and 1. Now, what are the operations permitted on this fuzzy set? But before going at all those aspects, okay, we need to simply look at how it is different from your conventional or crisp set. So, graduation of middle age देख सकते हैं आप, graduation of recession देखिए, graduation of earthquake देखिए. So we'll just one classical problem we'll just try to look at is the graduation of middle age. Okay, which is a very classical problem for explaining this concept, very popular one as well. Okay, what is it? अब एज के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं हम, तो क्रिस सेट है, लेट्स से इफ somebody is having age between 20 to 30, he or she is young, from 31 or 30 plus to 40 middle age, and 40 plus is an older person. Okay, so you do have a fuzzy set on the similar line. Okay, wherein Now, let's say if you are using crisp set, then somebody's age is 31, definitely you will declare that person as middle-aged person. Even if it is 30 years, 1 month, you need to declare it as a middle-aged person. Now, what is so special about fuzzy set is pretty simple. That is, we do not have sharp boundaries. We do not draw a perpendicular right in this way, just like which is there in case of fuzzy sets. Rather, we do have some lines in this particular manner. So wherein we do not have the precise knowledge. Now, what is it exactly? And it is very closer and justified when it comes to real time. You can say the decision making or looking at a particular aspect in some particular manner. Say, for example, somebody's age is 31, right? So it is injustice with that fellow to declare that person as a middle-aged person. Okay. So what is the right proposition? You may declare that person as 90% young and 10% middle age. Okay, because 30 to 40, let's say if you give for 1 year, you give 10%. So accordingly, maybe 90%. Now this is the right proposition, right? And that is what fuzzy set is all about. And that is what fuzzy set is all about, right? Now you may come up with an argument. आप में से कुछ लोग बोलेंगे कि सर आपने कहा कि value between 0 and 1. So probability is there. Those who are from mathematics, okay, they will say that probability is again it is between 0 and 1, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, and so on. So how do they differ? Whether they are same, whether fuzzy and probability are same? The answer is a big no. Okay, let me give you an analogy so that you can understand it. Okay, let's say you are in a desert. You are in a desert. Okay, and you are having two bottles filled of water with you. Okay, and they are tagged with both the bottles are sealed bottle. Okay, bottle A is tagged with the drinkability, the probability of drinkability of water is 0.8. The another bottle is tagged with the fuzzy membership of the drinkability of water is 0.8. Now here again I would love to interact with you. I don't know whether you are in a position to respond or not. Okay, which particular bottle you will pick up and why? क्या लगता है आपको? ए के साथ जाएंगे या बी के साथ जाएंगे? I hope I am loud and clear and you people are with me, right? Intentionally, I have kept the presentation in disable mode. Yes, A. A means probability. Correct, ma'am? Chandrakant Mankar, sir. Okay. To everyone. Somebody is saying, Sangeeta Shegawkar madam is saying B. Okay, chat box, lot of responses are coming up, but you have to have some justification. Why you will go with A or why you will pick up the bottle B. ओके, तो क्या लगता है आपको जिन्होंने ए कहा, व्हाट इज योर जस्टिफिकेशन? आपको क्या लगता है व्हाट इज द रीजन क्यों आप ए के साथ जाएंगे? अगेन लीना डोंगरे मैडम इज सेइंग ए इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग आई सेड इट इज probability and B is fuzzy membership. So lot of people are coming with A, but what is the justification of having A? Temperature decides by okay. Temperature decides. Let's say the temperature is ambient temperature is 48 degrees Celsius. Okay, okay, and you have got these two bottles. They are cold enough. Okay, maybe some container in which you have kept them so that you can drink it. Okay, whenever needed, and you are thirsty. Now you have to make a decision. Okay, and what is that decision? Whether you should pick up the bottle A first or B. Okay, don't say, sir, we will pick up both A and B, both. Right. So, what is the reason for going with probability one? आप बताएंगे? कोई अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं आप लोग? मुझे लगता है again the idea is not to check your knowledge and so on. The idea is to simply get you involved in the discussion. ठीक है ना? That is the only objective. तो क्या लगता है आपको? I hope I am loud and clear and you can hear me and you people are with me. Hello, good number of participants, 62, 63 participants are there in the session. Okay, so I'll be happy if you can unmute yourself and you can come up with some answer. Hello. Santosh Chavan sir, Ashish Raut sir, Chandrakant Mankar sir. Mankar sir, I think you have given some reply in the chat box. Okay, but so in chat box we do have around a temperature decides by the fuzzy. Leena Dongre madam has come up with A. Sangeeta Shegaokar madam, are you there in the meeting? You have gone for B. You are the only one who has gone for B. But otherwise, out of 3 responses, 2 are going with A, and only one, that is Sangeeta Shegaokar madam, has gone for B. Any specific reason, madam? Temperature decide. Sir, please repeat the terms that you have said earlier. Okay, I said simple. मैंने ये कहा कि भाई आपके पास में 2 बॉटल है. एक बॉटल है आपके पास में, बॉटल ए. बोथ दी बॉटल्स आर सील्ड. दोनों भी बॉटल सील्ड हैं. ए जो बॉटल है उसके ऊपर टैग लगा है. टैग मतलब एक फ्लैप लगा है जिसपे लिखा है कि भाई प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ड्रिंकेबिलिटी ऑफ वाटर इज 0.8. और दूसरी वाली बॉटल है उसपे लिखा है फजी मेंबरशिप ऑफ ड्रिंकेबिलिटी इज इक्वल टू 0.8. दोनों जगह 0.8 लिखा है. एक में फजी, एक में प्रोबेबिलिटी. हम ये समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि प्रोबेबिलिटी और फजी सेम है क्या या डिफरेंट है. ठीक है ना. तो आप में से कुछ लोग कह रहे हैं ए, कुछ लोग कह रहे हैं बी. तो आपको क्या लगता है कौन सी बॉटल खोलनी चाहिए? मानकर सर, आई थिंक आई हैव रिप्लाइड टू योर, आई हैव रिपीटेड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई हैव स्पेल्ड आउट. तो क्या लगता है आप कौन सी बॉटल लेंगे? ए लेंगे या बी लेंगे? हेलो. I know it's Sunday, right? Okay, and you almost probably September. Okay, you are enjoying your Sunday, Anand. Okay, sir, please repeat the terms that you have said earlier. मैंने मानकर सर आपको बताया, अभी जस्ट बताया मेरे ख्याल से. तो पूछना इतना ही है आपसे कि ए लेंगे या बी लेंगे, और बी लेंगे तो क्यों लेंगे, या ए लेंगे तो क्यों लेंगे. ठीक है. Okay, let me be very clear on this aspect. Okay, I think you have decided that you will not talk, but that is not good. Okay, that is not good. You must have seen most of the, even I was going through the video recording of yesterday's session wherein Professor Ankush Anand was trying to ask certain things and to get you involved in the discussion. Okay, see, the biggest problem with this online teaching is you never know what the other fellow is doing. So the very first thing is that fuzzy is not equal to probability. Okay. Okay. Let me be clear. That is, in this case, we have to go along with the fuzzy one, that is B. And what is the answer or justification for that? Answer is pretty simple. Okay. Pretty simple in a sense. Let's say if you pick up A and you open it and you drink the water. Now, whenever we are talking about probability, meaning thereby we are dealing with uncertainty and likelihood. So if you are a lucky guy, 80% chances are there that you will drink, it will contain water, good quality water, and you will survive. But 20% chances, likelihood means chances. Okay, toss करते ना, अमिताभ बच्चन की शोले देखी होगी. Right, so 50-50. So uncertainty and likelihood. So 20% chances are there that it will contain poison, and when you drink poison, definitely you will collapse. So nobody would like to go with the fuzzy one. Oh, sorry, with the probability one. Okay. Now look at the other option, that is the fuzzy one. Fuzzy logic deals with ambiguity and vagueness. What does this mean? If you pick up bottle B, okay, 80% it will contain drinkable water. 20% it may contain some contamination, and we are all Indians. आप और मैं, आप लोगों की generation तो मुझे पता नहीं, at least our generation, we used to, when we were small kids, we used to drink, okay, tap water. I very well remember. I belong to Akola only, right? And I have shifted way back in 1986 to this place. But my childhood days, I am basically from Akola, right? So I very well remember whenever we used to play in the scorching sun, okay, around 40 plus degrees Celsius temperature, we used to drink water which was the tap water. Now we have started all these things, that is, अभी आपके यहाँ मेरे यहाँ सभी के यहाँ एक्वा लगा है and what not. लेकिन we are all Indians, as I have told you. So 80% drinkable water and 20% contamination. So 20% contamination, even if you drink it, you will survive. There is no possibility that you will collapse. But if you look at the fuzzy one, sorry, the probability one, wherein 80% chances are there that it will contain water, 20% chances are there it will contain something which is very harmful like poison. Okay, so if you take poison or if you consume poison, you will die or you will collapse, right? So they are not at all same. Okay, and to put it in very straightforward words, okay, probability, you can say the probability deals with the uncertainty and likelihood, whereas you can say the fuzzy logic deals with ambiguity and vagueness, right? And that is why we need to go ahead with the fuzzy one, not the probability one. Having said this, okay, what are the operations on fuzzy sets? Okay, I'll not elaborate further on this. The only difference I'll show you that is how it is different from the conventional or crisp set theory. Okay, complement, equality, and containment, equality and complement are very similar to what is there in the conventional set theory, but the intersection and union, which was little bit different in case of, you can say, the crisp set, that is A intersection B or A union B. Here, what do? We, in one case, we pick up the minimum number of AX comma BX. The other way around, we pick up the max of AX comma BX. That is how these operations are all about, right? That is how these operations are all about. Now, we'll just see that is how we can apply this concept, this small, simple concept. I hope fuzzy one you must have understood quite clearly. That is how we can apply it to solve any real life problem. Let's say you are visiting a restaurant and you want to, this is again very classical problem. Okay, those who are from computer science, they may be acquainted with this, wherein so fuzzy inference system is a mechanism, right? That is the small 27 rule I was talking about. That is nothing but the fuzzy inference system, or FIS in short. Let's say you are visiting a restaurant and you want to decide about the amount of tip you must give to the waiter. Okay, so there are two, three parameters which you can take into account. Okay, so if the service is good, even if the food is not excellent, the tip will be generous. So this can be sorted out. This way you can generate some fuzzy if then else rules to sort out the problem or to take the appropriate decision for deciding upon the amount of tip to be given to the waiter. Okay, so this is again, there are solutions available on net as well. Okay, you can you may find some MATLAB code or Skylab code for that purpose, small code. You can run it. Even all these tools nowadays, they provide online execution facility. You need to simply register and then run that particular code. So you can very well understand it, right? So what is it? Basically, it has got four constituents. This piece has got four modules. One is the knowledge base, wherein you will store all those rules, 27 rules I was referring to. Then there is an inference engine. So out of those 27 rules, one particular rule will fire. Okay, and that will be defussified. Okay, whatever, based on the scenario, based on the kind of input. Okay, based on the kind of input. For example, in this case, if the service is good, okay, and even if the food is not excellent, okay, then the trip will be generous. So that particular rule number, let's say it is 7, it will fire and you will get the appropriate value. Then there are two more modules, what they call it as the fuzzification and defussification. So initially, what do? We take some crisp values and we need to translate those crisp values into the respective, you can say, fuzzified values, and the other way around, that is defuzzification module. So these four modules are there. Fuzzification module transform the system input, which are crisp numbers. So you will be giving numbers into fuzzy sets, and this is done by applying fuzzification function. With simple function is there, okay, which can sort your problem. Then what do? Once this is done, we store if then else rules. That is fuzzy if then else rules 27, whatever I have talked about. It all depends upon the number of parameters, okay, provided by the expert into the knowledge base. Then inference engine and defuzzification module, meaning thereby we do not want to have something like this as the answer, that the tip will be generous, but we need to quantify this generosity. So we have to come up with some value, maybe 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, and so on. So that is the defuzzification will take care of. That is the defuzzification model. What it will do, it will transform the fuzzy set obtained by the inference engine into a crisp value, because ultimately we want numbers. And what kind of values we'll give? We will give input as the numbers once again. So number to number mapping, right? Something like that. Okay. So these are three classical problems. Let's say if you Google it, you will find a lot of stuff over there. Okay, you will find a lot of stuff over there. That is waiter problem, traffic control problem, or heating controller for room heater problem, right? That is the air conditioner and all, right? So this is all about the fuzzy one, right? This is all about the fuzzy one. Now there is one more aspect. We'll dig in little bit detail. Is the neural network. ठीक है. तो ये दोनों को देखेंगे अपन. दोनों को चेक करने का रीजन सिर्फ इतना ही है कि जो हम टूल्स देखने जाएंगे, definitely they use all these you can say the technologies at their back end. Okay, so machine learning is one of them, right? What is machine learning? It was caused very first time way back in 1959 by Arthur Samuel. Okay, what is it? It gives the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Without being explicitly programmed, meaning thereby they learn on their own, just like human being. Okay, look at all these GPTs, okay, Chat GPT or maybe Gemini AI and whatnot. Okay, what do? They learn 24 by 7. They never sleep. Okay, and from where they learn? They learn from the internet sources. They learn from the data which is generated through the internet. Now, who is generating the data? We are the source of that data, basically. You and me. Okay, so as long as you are online, all this data is being generated and that is being captured by all those models, and they start learning from those data sets. Okay, so we do not program them explicitly, just like in traditional approach wherein we have got exact steps. Here we do not have those kind of a scenario. Okay, what is it? It is altogether different. It is nothing like. Now how do they learn? Okay, that is what we will just try to have a look at. So these are not program instruction. Okay, but they are capable of making predictions or decision based on the data. Okay, so how do they learn? I have told you, they learn from the data. Okay, and what are their capabilities? They can predict, or they are capable of taking decisions based on that data. That is important, right? So neural network क्या होता है? It is basically a parallel distributed processor, okay, which uses experiential knowledge. Okay, you must have heard this term quite often, okay, in our discussion of NEP 2020 and so on. Okay, experiential knowledge. Okay, whereas knowledge is acquired by the network through a learning process, and where that knowledge is stored, it is stored in the respective weights. Okay, I'll talk on those aspects. And there is some interneuron connection strength, which is known as the synaptic strength, okay, or synaptic weight. So with each neuron, there is a single line connected, which goes from one neuron to the another, and it has got some synaptic strength associated. Okay, so this is how the neural networks looks like. Okay, we'll have definitely some more aspects of neural networks, right? But again, Zorada has given some definition of this neural network. Okay, wherein he calls them as the physical cellular systems which can acquire, store, and utilize experiential knowledge. So they learn on their own. That is the acquisition of knowledge. Storing that knowledge. Now, where they store that knowledge, they store those knowledge, whatever they have acquired during the learning phase or the training phase, in the weights. Okay, and then what do? They utilize that knowledge, whatever, once the training is done. Okay, they utilize that knowledge to some new condition. Okay, and that is what is exactly the, if you look at the way in which we learn as human being. Okay, let me allow me to give one simple example. Let's say whenever you want to learn how to drive a car, okay, most of the time the driving school people normally they take you to either the playground or on highways, but you will not face all the time that kind of a situation. Okay, it may happen that you will, if you are in a downtown and a old city mein hai, to wherein huge traffic is there. Now what do? Whatever knowledge you have acquired during that learning, the functionality of you can say the accelerator, brake, and clutch, and steering. Okay, you will apply. You will never ever call to your trainer now what to do next. Okay, rather you will apply that knowledge. Okay, whatever you have acquired in maybe some ideal condition or maybe some altogether different scenarios into this new condition. Again, it may be possible that sometimes you uh, may face some accident, right? Unfortunately, that is again there. But this is our potential, okay, and the same potential can be there in all these neural networks. And based on this, you have a lot of models like say GPTs and so on, right? So they use this kind of neural network architecture. We'll just try to have a look at certain things, but before moving ahead, we need to understand what are the application areas. So wherein you can apply these neural networks. Okay, this is again an indicative list. Okay, this is not exhaustive list. So I'm talking about mathematics, physics, engineering. Okay, wherein engineering say image signal processing. Okay, computer science, AI, economic, finance, philosophy, linguistic. Okay, those who are from art and humanities, they would love to see that linguistic is another area. Cognitive psychology, right? So psychology, neurobiology, again, this is not an exhaustive list, or you name the area, you will find that some or the other application of this neural networks is there. Now, we need to know how their structure look like. Okay, so if you simply look at this diagram, this is the human neuron. Okay, wherein you have a small structure like this, and then what happens is with each structure there is an axon. Okay, there is some connectivity going on to the next neuron and so on. This is referred to as the cell body, and these are the dendrites. Okay, so on the similar line, we do have a single layer perceptron. Now, what is it? This is replaced by this particular neuron. This is a single layer neuron, perceptron. Okay, these are the input neurons. Okay, dendrites and synaptic strength. I was referring to this is synaptic strength. Okay, and these are the inputs. Okay, these are the inputs. So with each input, there is a weight associated. So whatever they learn during the learning phase, those values are acquired in these weights W1, W2, and so on. ठीक है ना? So x1 w1 x2 w2 and so on, right? And what is y is nothing but the summation of x1 w1 plus x2 w2 x3 w3 and so on. In this case only x1 w1 plus x2 w2. Okay, so this is the simplest form of a neural network. Okay, which is inspired from the biological neuron. It is very parallel to that. Okay, there is nothing new in that. Okay, it is very similar to the neuron of our brain, right, or a human brain. Okay, so same thing can be associated like this. Okay, so you have a threshold and the axon. Okay, so what is ANN? They are nothing but the information processing systems, wherein the neuron processes the information and the signals are transmitted by means of the connection links. So these are the connection links through which the signals are transmitted from one neuron to the another, and it is same is the case in human brain, right? And links possess an associated weight, as I was referring to. With each link, you have got some associated weight. So the learning capabilities are as a matter of fact, they are there in this synaptic weight or the strength. Okay, because your input will remain constant. The output is again it will depend on the kind of input. But this is where the actually the potential of this artificial neural network is. Okay, so the output signal is obtained by applying activation to the input network. I will not go into all these mathematical aspects, but to put it in very simple word, as I have told you, that is the output U is equal to Wi Wj xj, J is equal to 1 to M, and Y is equal to phi of U plus B. Okay. This again, I will not talk much because there is some constant you may add, okay, so as to converge the network to the local minima. Okay, so there are some certain terminology like say global minima, local minima, and so on. Okay, so it may be possible. है ना अपन casually बोलते हैं कि भाई over training, right? So there are very many things. Okay, confusion matrix and so on. ठीक है? So bias से हम क्या करते हैं उसको diverge करते हैं. What do we do? We simply try to go to the nearest possible local minima, and that local minima how it can be transformed to the global minima. ठीक है, तो वो डिटेल में आप जाते नहीं है, लेकिन वी विल जस्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि भाई इनपुट मैंने कहा आपको इनपुट वेक्टर है आपका, व्हाट इज इट x1 x2 x3 xn. ओके, जैसे आप हैंड रिटन न्यूरल पे डील कर रहे हैं, आपने 50 फीचर एक्सट्रैक्ट किए हैं, सो इन दैट केस द इनपुट वेक्टर विल बी कंप्राइज ऑफ x1 to x50, or maybe normally it starts from x0. Okay, unfortunately I missed out that concept here, but it has to start from x0 to x49, 50 features. Okay, input layer है, बाद में आपकी hidden layer है. Again, how many nodes you must have in the hidden layer. Okay, how many hidden layer you must have, there is no hard coded rule. ये आपका trial and error है. Experimentation पे you can design the network, okay, and optimize the design to the extent to which you want. Okay, so this is how it is typically x0 to xn, and these are the weights w0 to wn, And this is summation, and this is bias. As I've told you, we do have biases on the similar line. This is nothing but a constant. Okay, and then you have a activation function. Activation function में भी बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाएंगे अपन, but we'll just try to have a look at some of the activation functions. तो per sample updating होता है इसमें, ठीक है, per training set updating, that is what they call it as the epoch or iteration. That is when you cycle through from this input to the desired output. Okay, this is referred to as one epoch or one iteration. Okay, in simple word, iteration, one iteration or one epoch, right? So that is one. Now you can define how many epochs you want, whether you want 1,000 epoch, 2,000 epoch. Okay, and then you need to observe whether it is converging or it is diverging. Let's say if it is diverging, you need to put it on the lower side and so on. Okay, so what is the stopping condition? Now where we will stop training? Okay, you need to look at some threshold value. So if it is below some threshold value, or you may stop it after a specified number of epochs, as I said, 5,000, 1,000, 2,000. Okay, and then it will stop in general when the weights will converge. Whenever the error is minimal, okay, at that point of time we'll stop training. Okay, that is how we normally train the network. Okay, now how the network architecture looks like. Okay, and how to set the weights during the training and activation functions, right? So this is how the network structure will look like. This, let's say this is one input and one output layer, and all input and outputs neurons are fully connected. So this is a single layer feed forward network. Okay, this way you may have multi-layer, wherein one, two, three, okay, and some hidden layers in between, and then something like this. Okay, so this is multi-layer feed forward network. Then you may have fully recurrent network, or you may have competitive networks. Okay, so it all depends how they are connected with each other. What is the topology? Okay, that will determine the type of the architecture. Then you have Jordan network, hidden networks, context, and so on. ठीक है, इसकी डिटेल में जाते नहीं है, हमको सिंपल यही समझना है कि भाई हाउ दे आर connected with each other, that will determine the architecture of that particular neural network. Okay, and there are very complex architecture, I tell you. We'll just try to explore few of them. So input layer, it is typically, it receives the initial data. Hidden layer, what is the functionality? Not directly observable. Okay, you will not be able to see it. Okay, just like if you just try to look at how the human decision takes place, okay, it is not at all possible to simulate it and arrive at that. This is how it happens. Okay, so which particular neuron has fired and which particular path you have selected, again there are a lot many things, right? So produces, output layer is basically, it produces the final result, something like that, right? ट्रेनिंग तीन प्रकार का होता है. ट्रेनिंग जो तीन प्रकार का होता है, उसमें सबसे पहला है सुपरवाइज्ड ट्रेनिंग. ओके, सुपरवाइज में हम क्या करते हैं? यू प्रोवाइड द लेबल्ड डेटा when you know input as well as output. So you have data pair wherein you have got input as well as output. So learning from labeled data set to predict known output. Say for example, एक XYZ problem के लिए आपके पास में Kaggle पे data set available है, and that is a standard data set. So you may use it as it is and you can predict the output. Okay, ये हो गया आपका when you know input as well as output. Unsupervised is input is known but output is unknown. Okay, identifying patterns in unlabeled data. So when you are dealing with unlabeled data, it is unsupervised training. And reinforcement training, which is being used by almost all the tools, okay, across the line, is the reinforcement training. इसको simple language में अगर समझना है, तो it is learning through trial and error. You will not provide whether the answer is right or wrong. Rather, you will provide an indication, what we used to call it as in general term, clue. Okay, see, the best way of understanding this reinforcement training is simply look at the child when he or she starts maybe uh, walking or running. Okay, in the initial stage. Okay, when you are small kids, so how do you learn to stand up and walk and then run? Okay, that is what is reinforcement learning is all about. It is trial and error. Okay, it may happen that you will fall down and then again you will stand up and then you will learn. Okay, you may take help of something, and then so we do not provide. So reinforcement training is explicitly used by all the GPT models, okay, which is the most popular one. Okay. Having said this, I'll not go into the other aspects of supervised learning, okay, or unsupervised learning, but we need to understand. So as I said, that is unsupervised learning, only input data. okay, and no corresponding output variable. So we do not provide any output variable in this case. We provide only the input. Okay. So the algorithms are left to their own to devise to discover and present the interesting structure in the data. So they themselves identify what is there in that data set, and that's why it is said that the models inspired by this unsupervised learning is known as the self-organized map or the coherence self-organizing map. That is one of the most popular one. Fuzzy C means, okay, and so on, right? अब एक्टिवेशन फंक्शन जो मैं आपसे कह रहा था कि भाई व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेनेवर इज द आउटपुट व्हाटएवर इज द आउटपुट समेशन x1 w1 x2 w2, okay, it passes through a non-linearity, and that is nothing but the activation function. Now what is the function of activation function? It determines the output of each neuron. Okay, so whenever a neuron fires, it goes through this non-linearity. There are very many, but sigmoidal is the best one. Okay, it has got numerous advantages as compared to others. Okay, so sigmoidal mein kya hai? It is simply a S-shaped curve, this D and E. Okay, this is bipolar sigmoidal, and this is the binary sigmoidal. So you have numerous advantages of using this sigmoidal one. Other functions are again there, but they have got some limited applicability. Okay, but this is the most popular one. Okay, sigmoidal. Now, having said this, I think a lot of technical stuff we have talked about. Now let us try to conclude. Okay, by simply looking at certain terminologies, like say machine learning. हमने देखी machine learning में then we have seen what is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. So these are the three approaches. But what has happened in the recent past, particularly 2006 onwards, DLL architecture, that is the deep learning architecture, they took birth, and what has happened? This has dominated largely almost all the areas, okay, wherein AI can be applied. So deep learning is again a class of machine learning techniques where many layers of information processing stages in hierarchical architectures are exploited to unsupervised feature learning. Unsupervised. Okay, unsupervised, wherein the input is known, output is not known. Okay, and typically it is used for analysis oblique classification. Okay, so typically this kind of architecture or DLL architecture or the deep learning architecture, they are used for analysis and classification. So this has happened from 2006 onwards. Okay. So there are again some DL architecture as well. Okay. And some of the models you are already using in your day-to-day life. Let's say if you are using ChatGPT, so it is a generative deep architecture. What is it? It is a generative deep language architecture or DLL architecture. There is one more thing, that is discriminative, as I have told you, for analysis and prediction. Okay, so discriminative, and there is one more category, what they call it as the hybrid, wherein you may have a combination of both, right? So this is typically used for text generation, synthesis, recognition, classification, and so on. So all the tools, whatever we'll discuss in the next session, okay, they use this technology at the back end. Okay, these technology at the back end. Okay, so generative deep architecture is there, and then wherein high order and some statistical rules are typically used, statistical distributions are exploited, or Bayes rules are typically used for arriving at certain decisions or classification or analysis of data. Okay, discriminative are a little bit different. Again, they are typically used, but wherein you want both the functionality, that is both the above architecture. Let's say if you want to club them into one, there are certain areas wherein this is needed. So that is discriminative architecture, and you may have a combination of both, that is hybrid deep architecture, wherein you may have discriminative as well as generative both. So whatever tools we will look at, on their bottom line, one has to be very clear that they are using this kind of technology at the back end, right? So, but if you look at how it has impacted, the AI has impacted. Okay, you will be surprised that out roughly 89% of the filings, okay, in terms of you can say patent across the globe. This is not locally or at the national level. Okay, 40% are AI related applications. Okay, and if you wanted to know who are the players, big players in this domain, so IBM is one of them. Okay, many times we feel that Google is leading the race, but that is not correct. Okay, IBM is on the top, wherein they have come up with around 8,290 patents. Okay, which is followed by 5,930 by Microsoft, and then maybe Google and other players are there. Okay, now to conclude, these are some of the application area. Again, the list is indicative; it is not an exhaustive list. Okay, so I'll just read it out, and you will be surprised. Okay, you will find some of the other application in almost all the areas. Say knowledge-based prognosis, okay, fuzzy data analysis, customer targeting, okay, Amazon and all online platform, okay, which we use for buying or selling anything, okay. It typically uses this customer targeting, sequencing, scheduling, okay, hospital stay prediction. Now there are systems available; they will predict that how many days you will stay in the hospital, right? Address matching, fuzzy cluster analysis, sales prognosis, okay, multi-criteria optimization, what they call it as multi-objective optimization, and so on. Okay, this is with regard to finance, risk profile analysis, okay, credit worthiness. You have CIBIL score, okay, certain CIBIL apps which extensively used. So that is nothing but the credit worthiness assessment. So based on your past record, they will analyze. Okay, so whenever you go for a loan, you need not have to speak anything. You have to simply say, this is my mobile number and this is my PAN and this is my Aadhaar number. They will give you every kacha chatta of yours, okay, during last 10 years. What you have done, how many times your check has bounced. Okay, so what is your credit worthiness? Okay, that is, those systems are basically use all these technology. Insider is there, then trading surveillance is there, and so on. So some other areas are like, say, social sciences. Many times we feel that I am, sir, from arts and humanities. So AI is not there. It is not at all, right? AI is there in social sciences. AI is there in behavioral sciences. AI is there in the life sciences. Okay. AI is there in the medicine. Okay. Let's say, for example, most of the nowadays the fine surgeries, okay, people are using robotic. Okay, ultimately it is controlled by human being. But if you look at the surgery performed by all these robots, they are fantastic. Okay, in terms of accuracy and so on. Right. Now, this is all with regard to the first session. These are some of the references. Right. I'll share this stuff with you. Okay. Uh, yes. Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, my slides were visible to you. All of you, you must have seen and you must have enjoyed the first session. Okay. Second session, sir, please mute yourself. I don't know who's talking. Okay. Umesh Vodsevar, sir. ठीक है. I muted you, no problem. So what we were referring to, हमने देखा कि भाई AI क्या होता है. AI के बहुत सारे मॉडल्स पे हमने बात की. Before we wind up for this session, मैं आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि if you have any question in your mind, okay, you can fire it now. So if you have any specific question, whatever we have seen, आप पूछ सकते हैं, so that we can have some brainstorming on those aspects. Hello. I know it's Sunday and it's afternoon time, okay, but there are reasons to it. Okay. तो आप में से कोई पूछना चाहेगा कि सर जो भी हमने देखा, सम थोड़ा theoretical देखा. अब हम सेकंड सेशन में जो बात करेंगे, बेसिकली we'll start with certain things like say chat GPT and so on, okay, wherein we will just try to learn that is how to make use of these AI tools for making our life more comfortable and enjoyable, right, as a teacher or as an academician. ठीक है, तो वो एस्पेक्ट हम एक्सप्लोर करेंगे. लेकिन उससे पहले मैं चाहूंगा कि आप में से कुछ लोग अगर कुछ पूछना चाहें तो I'll be happy to answer. Hello. Hello. There are around 65 participants in the meeting. I hope I am loud and clear and you can hear me. Chandrakant sir, lot of waves are coming up. Okay. Let me stop sharing first of all. Okay. तो आप में से कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे? कड़ू मैडम कुछ पूछना चाह रहे? सॉरी, संविदा कड़ू. whether you want to ask something, आप कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे? हमने कोशिश की कि भाई जितना सिंप्लीफाई तरीके से चीजों को समझा जाए, क्योंकि ये टेक्नोलॉजी आप यूज करें तो इसके पीछे की एक्चुअली द अंडरलाइंग फिलोसफी वन हैज टू अंडरस्टैंड, ओके, you so that you can use them in a better way, okay, that is the only idea. इसीलिए हमने इस विषय पे बात की, और ये एक आईसीटी का कंपोनेंट है, और इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ आईसीटी इन एनईपी 2020 is of prime importance, right? It is one of the pillars of implementation of, you can say, all these tools in academia. So, whether you want a break for a few minutes or what is it, or we should continue. अब तो कुछ बोलिए आप. Hello, you want break, sir? Chandrakant Mankar, sir, to everyone. Okay, break for how much time, sir? 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes? Just tell me. One thing I have observed in your batch is you are active in chat, but you do not want to speak. Okay. Not taken poison into consideration. Thanks, sir, for clarification. Chalo. Okay. All right. So, एक 5 मिनट का ब्रेक ले लें. लेकिन you please don't go away. Okay, we will be connected. Okay. And second session we will start immediately. Okay, second session will start immediately. But don't miss the second session, because we will have some hands-on on some of these tools. Okay, and we will discuss certain things. 5 minutes break. It's 13:10. So we'll meet at 13:15. Okay, 5 minutes is okay. Okay, Chandrakant Mankar sir has said 5 minutes. Okay. No other responses are there. So let us assume that everybody is willing for a 5 minutes break. So you please don't go away. Be connected. Okay. आप जुड़े रहिए, और एक 5 मिनट में हम फिर से हाजिर होते हैं. ठीक है, चलिए, थैंक यू वेरी मच. So, welcome back, participants. I hope you are well connected. The number only two or three they have gone, maybe for some or the other purpose. Anyway, once again, welcome you all for this second session. Okay, as I have promised you that we will have uh, discussion on various tools. Okay, but before directly moving ahead with all those tools, okay, we need to understand that is how do they function. Okay, say for example, ChatGPT. Okay, so what is it exactly? Okay, as I have told you, I think we have started from scratch and now we are up to what is Gen AI and all, wherein we have seen generative AI architectures, right? So let me begin my deliberation with a small PowerPoint presentation, okay, wherein we will just try to look at what these tools are all about. Okay, so right, और एक छोटा सा चीज देखेंगे what they call it as the prompt engineering as well. So that we will just try to understand. Let me share my entire screen with you. Hopefully my slides are visible to you, right? Whether the slides are visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we are in presentation mode, right? देख पा रहे हैं आप लोग?
Yes, sir. Yes.
नहीं, कई बार क्या होता है कि हम आगे चले जाते हैं, पता चला फिर कुछ पार्टिसिपेंट बोलते हैं सर अभी भी आप स्लाइड नंबर 1 पे हैं। ओके, दैट इज द ओनली रीजन। ओके, तो अब हम देखेंगे थोड़ा सा, वील जस्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज जेन एआई। तो इफ यू सिंपली रिकॉल व्हाट वी हैव सीन इन द अर्लियर डिस्कशन, तो हमने बात की थी, इफ यू जस्ट ट्राई टू रिकॉल, वी हैव स्टार्टेड विद सम, एट द एंड वी टॉक्ड अबाउट सम डीप डीएल आर्किटेक्चर, okay, wherein we have talked about one is the generative and the second one is the discriminative and some hybrid architecture. So generative AI is one of the most dominating area in this particular age, okay, particularly last 3 years. Okay, if you look at from 2022 onwards, what has happened, lot of you can say the development in gen AI took place, and we have got around thousands of tools. Okay, I don't know how many total number of tools are there. Okay, day by day they are increasing. So we have a lot of tools for this Gen AI. Okay, Chat GPT is one of them. So what is left in our hand is basically how to write an effective prompt. But most of the time, what happens whenever you interact with all these tools, okay, many times we complain, okay, as a user, that we are not getting the appropriate responses. See, the reason behind not getting the appropriate responses is not the tool, but many times the prompts, whatever we write. ठीक है ना? So there is one complete area which has emerged in the recent past is what they call it as the prompt engineering. So we'll just try to look at these two things in maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and then directly I will take you to certain tools wherein we will just try to interact, and we will just try to look at the functionality of all those tools for our teaching, learning, and maybe some tools for research purposes. Right. Now, having said this, what is generative AI? Okay. So this is a recap of what we have already seen, but from some different perspective. So if you look at AI, I think we have seen extensively in the earlier session. Okay, but Gen AI is to put it in very simple words or a straightforward word, it is a subset of AI. It is a specialized branch of AI, or it is a subset of AI, wherein AI is the superset. Okay, AI which utilizes machine learning. Now, machine learning we are well acquainted with. Now, you should not ask me, sir, what machine learning is. It utilizes machine learning models, which we have seen in the earlier discussion. And for what is the objective or the purpose is to create new original content. Okay. Now I am referring to creativity. Okay. You can create or generate altogether a new article using these Gen AI tool. Okay. But again, there are ethical consideration. Ideally, we should not use it. Okay. But you can. Okay. It has got that power. So it can create some creative stuff for you. Okay. Maybe text. Okay. Or images, or maybe music. Okay. MF Hussein painting. Okay. Which we used to auction it in millions of dollars. Okay. That can be created quite easily using this Gen AI tool. Or you may compose music. Or if you take it little further, even you can create a complete movie. Okay. Those days are not far away, wherein instead of Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan, you will find some characters which are generated by AI. Okay, that is the future. Okay, and those days are not far away. I tell you, maybe in a year or two, you will find a lot of movies. Okay, which are typically generated by. Now, who should be the author of all those movies? Okay, script writer, director, and so on. Okay, again, who should enjoy the copyrights and so on? Those billion-dollar questions are there. Okay, so unfortunately, uh, as on date, in our country, we do not have any regulating guideline in this regard, and that's why I've shared that paper with you. Okay, wherein I don't know how many of you have gone through it, लेकिन अगर आप में से कुछ लोगों ने देखा होगा तो you must have realized that there are numerous dimensions to the use of AI. Okay, so we can have some brainstorming on these aspects, definitely. Lekin, at present, what is happening, since we do not have any guidelines, any regulating principle, or any white paper on those aspects, okay, we can use all these things. Now, what is left, as I have told you, what is in your hand is you need to define your own boundaries as far as the use of these AI tools is concerned. Okay. आप में से बहुत लोग शायद एक्सपीरियंस भी कर रहे होंगे कि whenever you receive some email from your student, okay, many times you are shocked to see the content. What's the reason? The reason is it is generated by that AI tool. Okay, so students are using it extensively, and when you actually interact with the student, okay, you can very well conclude that he or she is not in a position to speak a single sentence in English. Okay, but how he or she is capable of writing such kind of email stuff. Okay, so there is no need to get surprised. People are using it. Okay, and people are using it extensively. So being a teacher, we need to equip ourselves. That is, we need to know at least how these tools are made. Okay, that we have already seen, and how to use them. Okay, so some of these tools we'll just try to explore, but they have got this much potential. That is, they can create new original contents in the form of text or images or music. So even you can compose music, okay, using this Gen AI tool. लेकिन ये सारे tools आपको free में नहीं मिलते. What is the reason? Have you ever thought why we are not getting, say, ChatGPT earlier version are freely available, okay, 3, 3.5 up to maybe, but 4.0 onwards it is paid. There are reasons to it, and this slide will give you an insight why it is so. Because the training cost of all these now, we have seen what is training or learning. Okay, and how do these systems learn? They learn from the data which is being produced by various sources. Okay, we are the source of the data. Okay, we provide that data free of cost for all these systems to learn. Okay, so they learn from various sources, from internet, thousands of sources. Terabytes of data is being produced hourly or daily. Okay, and that is being used, extensively used by all these models for their training or learning purposes. Now, if you look at the cost involved for training all these AI model, it is in millions of dollars, millions of US dollars. Say, for example, GPT-3, I don't know whether you are aware, it was launched way back in 2018. Okay, so sorry, Chat GPT-1. Okay, GPT-3 was recent one. Okay, maybe one or 2 years back. Okay, but the cost of training GPT-3 was 4.3 million US dollar. GPT-4 it is 78.4 million US dollar, and Gemini Ultra is 191.4 US million dollar, and that's why the beta version of these tools is completely free, but when you want to use it for some commercial purpose, okay, or maybe for some other purposes, you need to buy a pro version. And that is the another reason why we do not get appropriate responses from all these tools. There are I'll talk on all those parameters, that is how to set all those parameters and how to make it more effective in terms of getting the appropriate answers. So if you compare AI versus generative AI, actually the bottom line, the technology or the techniques are one and the same. That is, both of them they use as machine learning, deep learning, expert system, neural networks, decision tree, whatever we have seen in the earlier session. Okay, both of them, but it is the subset of an AI. Gen AI is a subset of an AI. Now, what are the key characteristics of all these Gen AI model? Creativity and innovation, which we have already talked about. Okay, that is such as writing a new article, so you may use it for writing a new research paper, but ethically it is not correct. But you can, okay, or composing a music or generating realistic images. Now, I was going through Times of India, yesterday's Times of India, wherein Karan Johar has filed some case in the Bombay High Court, wherein he was asking for preserving his privacy, secrecy, and the other aspects of one individual's life. Okay, because some stuff, some AI generated is also, so you feel that it is as a matter of fact real, but that is not the case. Okay, so generating some realistic images, so it may harm you, okay, in terms of sentiments and other aspect. So it includes maybe you can say the wide range of tasks such as classification, prediction, and recognition. So this is okay. This is okay. Whereas Gen AI primarily involves creating new data based on the learning pattern. Now, based on this, look at the application. You have content creation, okay, writing articles, drug discovery. Somebody is pharma, generating potential new drug molecule is possible using these tools, right? Game design, simulations, text to image generation, that is DALL-E, and so on. So again, this is a very indicative list, okay, but you name the area, you'll find some or the other Gen AI application is there. Now, how do these systems they work? What are the key characteristics of these systems? Okay, so only few I have listed out here, which is from our, you can say the academic point of view. The very first one is text understanding. So all these LLMs understand natural language through advanced algorithm that process words, sentence, and context. Now we have already seen that is how to compute with words. Now processing word or sentences and even the context in which you have asked that prompt or you have asked that query, okay, they are capable of understanding. Now, these things you can very well imagine, just like a human being, we are capable of understanding. Okay, text. Okay, even the many times the inherent meaning. Okay, or the context in which the words have been used in a prompt. Okay, they are capable of doing so. So it is very similar to the mimicking human behavior. Second important characteristic is text generation. So LLM can generate coherent, contextually relevant text based on input queries, making them powerful tools for a wide range of applications. So you can generate a tagline for an advertisement, okay, for a particular commodity quite easily. Okay, for example, okay, we still remember. Okay, I don't know whether your generation is aware about it. That is the tagline for this Honda motorcycle was "Fill it, forget it." Okay, so that indicates the mileage and all. So that kind of innovative. Now look at the number of words they have used. Okay, this was generated by not by the Gen AI tool. Okay, because it in an old story. So humans, right? Okay, so they used to get loyalty for all those kind of stuff. Okay, fill it, forget it. Or this way you have got thousands examples. Okay, so text generation, that is the power of this AI. Now you can generate similar tagline, okay, in a innovative manner or in a best possible manner, creative manner, whatever you feel appropriate. So these are the two important characteristics, not only understanding but text generation. But how do they work? How these LLM or Gen AI or Chat GPT, how do they work? So there are five crucial steps. The very first one is what they call it as the tokenization. That is, the input text, whatever query you fire or whatever prompt you write, it is broken down into smaller units or tokens. Okay. So what it does basically is, let's say in a single statement, you have written around 15 odd words. It will break all those 15 odd words to maybe 15 tokens. Okay. And then those tokens are processed by the model. Now, again, we need to understand that is whenever we are working on a free LLM model, it has got some token limit. Okay. Most of them, they comes with some predefined limit of token, like say 40961024 or 512 tokens only. So let's say if you have exhausted that token limit, again, you may get some inappropriate or inaccurate answers. Now you may ask us, sir, how to identify whether we have how many tokens we have used. So whenever you fire a prompt, okay, it will give you that how many tokens it has used for answering that question. Okay, and how many are left, how many free tokens are left. Okay, then you need to buy the tokens. Let's say if you do not have sufficient amount of tokens available at your disposal, then you need to buy new tokens. Embedding is the second step. The tokens are converted into numerical vectors. So all those English like words, they are converted into, now you just recall and just try to correlate the things. Appreciation, right? So we need to make them computation ready. So in numerical vectors representing their meanings. Okay, embedding. Okay, and then self attention. The system model assesses which part of the text are most important for understanding the query. So just like when you attempt a question paper, okay, in the real life examination hall, तो हम क्या करते हैं, normally we underline the expectation of the examiners and accordingly we mold our answers. So on the similar line, self-attention. This is what it will do out of those 15 odd tokens. It will identify maybe 4 or 5 or 3 or 2, depending upon the number of tokens which are of prime importance, and it will use those tokens, okay, predominantly to understand the query so that it can give you the best possible answer. So that is self-attention. Okay. Fourth one is the prediction. So the model is again capable, all these GPTs they are capable of predicting the next word or token based on the context provided by the input text. Now it is going one step beyond. Okay, say for example, when in a one-to-one Viva voce examination, okay, so let's say if I have asked you something, okay, so moment you are answering, you are predicting what the next question would be, right? So in that way, depending upon the pretext, okay. So and this is what we do very intelligently many times, okay. When it comes to presentation and all, many times we normally keep hidden certain things, okay, so that we can get some questions on that. You can anticipate or predict, okay. Then what is the last one? Last stage is the fifth and last stage is the response generation. So the model generates a response by predicting and stringing together relevant words in a coherent manner. So by applying all the above four things, okay, on a prompt, it will generate some or the other response. And what is the philosophy for generating that response is it is by putting or stringing together the relevant words in a coherent manner, right? So this is how they basically works. All these large language models, chat gpt and on so on, they works in these five crucial steps, and this is how they generate the response, right? Having said this, now we'll just try to understand the prompt engineering. As I have told you, okay, writing efficient prompt is again an art. Okay, it is not that easy. Okay, So that area is referred to as it is nothing but the practice of crafting precise input, okay, to guide AI systems in generating accurate and relevant responses. That is what is prompt engineering is all about. That is what is the philosophy. That is how you can be very precise and how you can get, because why I'm saying precise, because you have limitation in terms of number of tokens. I hope you are getting me right. Say let's say if you use more token, okay, and definitely since the tokens are charged, okay, so everybody will try to minimize it, and that is what is prompt engineering is all about. Minimum number of token and most accurate and relevant answer. Okay, that is what is the philosophy, underlying philosophy of prompt engineering. So effective prompt engineering is crucial in ensuring that all the AI inputs are aligned with the user's expectation. So what the user is expecting, let's say if you align the output in that manner, definitely people will appreciate it and they will start using all these tools, right? That is the another important aspect of this prompt engineering. Okay, now there are various prompt engineering techniques. Okay, we'll not look at almost all, but 4 5 we'll just try to have a look at. So most of the time we use the zero shot prompting. What is it? The very first one is the zero shot prompting. The AI is given a task with no prior example. So what do? We ask us, rather we fire a direct question to the AI or the LLM model that what is this? Say for example, what is VC? Now, VC, this acronym can stand for maybe a vice chancellor or maybe vice commandant and so on. Now, there are various possibilities, right? So, but let's say if I make it little bit with the help of some example, okay, if I put no example, then definitely I will have all those kind of stuff. But let's say if I give one example, okay. Say, for example, Vice Chancellors of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University. Now, here I am referring to a position wherein the Vice Chancellor is a person who is the administrative head of a university, public or private, right? So the model relies in this case zero prompting. When you put a direct question, it heavily relies on the pre-existing knowledge. Okay, so result in generic responses due to the lack of the context, because I have not provided any context. I am not talking about university and all. I am simply asking who is VC or what is VC. Okay, so this is a very generic zero shot. Okay, so asking Gen AI to generate a trending headline without providing any samples may result in a basic but relevant response. So you will get response, but it will be relevant, okay, not exactly what you intend to ask for, right? So zero shot prompting. That is typically most of the time, this is how we interact with all these LLM models. Second is with the one shot prompting, wherein the AI is given a task with one example, and that is why the name one shot prompting. Now, here I will give one example. For example, asking Gen AI to generate training headline with providing one sample may result in more relevant response. Now, here what I will say, here is a sample. Now do this, do this. Okay. So I will provide one sample. Okay, maybe fill it, forget it kind of a sample. And now I will ask it. Now, what it will do in this case is, since you have provided the example, it will analyze the peculiar characteristics present in that example. Say, for example, it is using only 3 words, so it will definitely think of giving something which is not more than 3. Okay, so and what is the context? Okay, and so on. Now, since you have given, now fill it, forget it. Okay, only 4 words are there. Okay, so accordingly it will generate the responses. Now, one example, whatever you give, okay, that makes the difference. So you will get more accurate answers in this case, because you have provided exactly what you intend to ask by giving one example. That is one thing. Few shot prompting. Now here, instead of giving one shot, what we will do, we'll give few examples, more than one, that is 2 3 etc. So if I give 2 3 examples to generate the and ask the Gen AI to generate the text, okay, it will give you me rather more appropriate response, or rather more tailored responses. So because what happens in this case, since more examples are given, it will try to find out the similarities between them. Okay, and it will try to accordingly tailor the response. Okay, so say for example, in case of you provide a few trending headlines as an example, AI will generate a new headline that aligns with the structure and style of those examples. Okay, so this is few short prompting. Then there is a role prompting. Now here I can assign a role to the AI or role or persona to AI. Okay, so you may pose a question that if you are a DSP, that is the district superintendent of a police, and then dot dot dot, I am narrating a story, what decision you will take. Okay, now it will look at that story from this district superintendent of police perspective, and it will give you the more tailored response. This is role prompting. So wherein you may ask the AI to behave in a particular role or persona. Okay. So even you can say if you are a vice chancellor, okay, and then you narrate something. So it will give you from that perspective. But if you change the role, same thing, if you give it that if you are a DSP and same thing you narrate, the responses would be different. So you will get tailored responses based on the scenarios, right? Then chain of thought. This is probably the fourth one, the chain of thoughts prompting, wherein what do? We break down a task into smaller logical steps, just like programming. Okay, any problem can be broken down into a number of steps, and those steps can be fed in a sequential manner to arrive at the logical manner to arrive at the answer. So allowing the AI to reason through intermediate steps, okay, before providing a final answer. This is typically used for complex tasks. So if you have very complex tasks to solve, you may write a prompt of comprising of around 20 odd statements and or odd stages. Okay, and this is typically called as the chain of thought. Okay. For example, we were talking about that advertisement trending headline and so on. Okay, you may specify the steps wherein who is the target audience, whether it should be eco-friendly or affordability and so on. So if you tag all these lines, okay, it will give you more tailored response, right? Chain of thoughts. Okay. Then meta prompting, wherein Gen AI is instructed on how to generate its own prompt. Now there is a glitch, right? Now what we are doing, we are asking AI to generate the prompt or the Gen AI tool to generate the prompt. That is meta prompting. Okay, for a specific task. This is definitely more expert level reasoning and sophisticated responses are needed in this case. For example, asking the AI to act as an expert in sustainable development. Okay, along with that role to generate more impactful content. Okay, that is what is meta prompting is all about. This is probably the last one, that is the tree of thought prompting. Okay, wherein the AI explores multiple possible reasoning paths simultaneously, evaluating different strategies before arriving at the best solution. Say, for example, from reaching out this place to Akola, I may have 4, 5 possible paths. Okay, I may go to Murtijapur or the other way around, maybe Daryapur. Okay, and one more, let's say. So what it will do, my prompt will remain same, but if tree of thought, let's say if you use, okay, it will explore all the possible paths and it will come up with the optimal solution. Well, the best possible route, depending upon now, distance is not merely the only aspect in this case. Even though I said that there are two paths, okay, probably let's assume that the distance comes out to be roughly same. If you go via Daryapur or via Murtiyapur, right, it is roughly 90-95 kilometer, 1 kilometer here and there. But um, the other consideration like the traffic conditions, like the you can say the condition of the road, okay, whether some work is in progress on that particular front or any other eventuality, whatever has happened in that real kind environment. So it will explore all those possibilities and it will give you the approach. So this allows greater flexibility and optimization in complex problem solving. Right. So some examples are like, say, for the marketing message, again, you may come up with eco-friendly, focusing on various aspects like affordability, sustainability, or innovation and so on. Right. This is the last one, that is prompt chaining. Chaining meaning whereby the output of one step is given as the input to the next one or in a cascaded manner. Okay. So it involves linking multiple prompts in a single together in a sequence. Okay, with each new prompt building on the output of the previous one. That is, whatever is the output of step number one, that will be given as input to the next step, next step, next step, and so on. This way, let's say you have 5 steps. So the output of one is given as input to the two, then output of two is given as input to three, and so on. So this is multi-step. So what we are doing in this case in multi-step, say for example, the same example, writing a marketing headline, the AI would first determine the target audience, okay, then identify the most resonant message, and finally generate a headline based on these insights. Okay, that is prompt chaining. Okay, that is prompt chaining one by one in a cascaded manner. Okay, now, again, this is very important to note. That is, most of the time we feel that we are not getting the appropriate answers from all these ChatGPT models. Okay, so there are certain parameters which you need to set. Okay, again, there are limitations when you are using a free version of any of these tools. Okay, but the first and the foremost important parameter is the temperature setting. Usually, the temperature setting, the range is from 0 to 2. Right, now you may set it directly. Okay, set temperature to. So if you keep it low, your responses will be more predictable and less creative. But let's say if you want to have more creative responses, you need to set the temperature as high, maybe 0.9 or 1.3 or 1.4 or 1.9. That will be highest. Okay, so you will get more creative outputs in that case. If you keep it low, definitely you will get more predictable, and that is the reason why we many times we complain that the responses we are getting, they are not appropriate. This may be one of the reason. Okay, and you can set this quite easily by simply at the prompt set the temperature to something. Okay, max token. This is I was referring to. That is, it defines the length of the response. Okay, how many tokens you want to make use of in that particular prompt or the response generation of that particular prompt. Longer token limits result in more detailed answer. Let's say if I specify the token limit as 10, so I'll get definitely the poor response. If I make it 100, definitely I will get more detailed response. Okay. So if you keep it on higher side, you will get more detailed answers. Okay, that is the second. Then you have top P, that is nucleus sampling. So this setting determines how many potential words the AI considers while generating its response. Now you can even set that potential words limit. Okay, definitely if you keep it max, responses would be more tailored and appropriate. A lower value focuses the model on the most likely outcome. Very obvious, जो हम बोलते हैं ना कि भाई हमने ये पूछा तो obviously something will come up. Okay, that is what. If you keep it low, but if you keep it high, you will get definitely better responses in terms of the expectations. Then frequency penalty and presence penalty. ये भी दो पैरामीटर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Let's say if you want to reduce the redundancy, what happens many times if you critically observe the responses generated by these AI tools, many times they are repeated. You get redundant kind of things. Okay, if you want to avoid that, you need to set these penalties: frequency penalty and presence penalty. So these settings can help control repetition in AI outputs. Okay, promoting variety and ensuring the AI introduces new ideas or avoid redundancy. So what it will do, it will avoid redundancy, repetition in the responses if you deal with this particular parameter more effectively. ठीक है, तो ये हो गया अपना सारे जेन एआई टूल्स के बारे में हमने बात की. ओके, नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, अब यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा अपन एक 5-7 मिनट का डिस्कशन करेंगे एंड देन आई विल टेक यू टू सम ऑफ द टूल्स. ओके, so if you look at whether we should use this GenAI tool for research, okay, I'm not talking about the potentiality or whether they are competent or not. Definitely, they are competent enough to generate new. You can write a complete research paper, new research paper using this GenAI tool. But the problem is ethically it is not correct, right? So now this ethical consideration you need to define on your own. That is why I was referring to that. You have to set your own boundaries. Okay, nobody will come. At present, we don't have any guideline for the use of this AI tool for research. Okay, so but you can make use of all these tools for carrying out some routine task wherein no creativity is involved. Let's say if you are using this tool, okay, probably 25th is the last date for the synopsis submission. Okay, the students are rushing for the ideas and so on. So if you are using it for generation of ideas, you will be in trouble. Okay, but let's say if you are using it for literature survey, I'll show you that is how some of the tool you may use it for carrying out literature survey. So you can use it as long as you are not making any compromises on the ethical front. But let's say if you are doing it in that particular manner, that is strictly prohibited. Even though there are no guidelines, but you will face problems. Okay, you will face problem. That's why the UGC or even our university, they have come up in the synopsis preparation. That is, you need to go for a flag check. Why it is so? Because if let's say if you have borrowed the idea or if you have used some GenAI tool, definitely it will come into whenever you go for a flag check, it will identify, well, this is generated, this much stuff is generated by AI, and this has been written by own. The candidate has written on its own, right? Something like that. So we should not use it. But there are some even let's say in research, whenever we go for publication and all, okay, so up to what extent we can make use of this AI tool. Okay, that is again possible. Okay, rather there are some quality publishers, they have come up with their own guidelines in this regard. Okay, so some of the guidelines I have jot down here. Okay, for example, if you look at the IEEE mandates, okay, it allows you to use AI tool for only editing and grammar enhancement, not for any other purpose. Now, what does this mean? That is, for the generation of idea is the another thing. Even for paraphrasing, you cannot use it. Okay, so it is not possible to use all these tools for doing any other intellectual activity, okay, or the research activity, but you may use them for certain routine tasks. As I said, for IEEE mandates, you can use it for editing and grammar enhancement. So editing purposes and the grammar enhancement, because English is a foreign language for us, right? So there is every possibility that we will commit mistake in terms of grammar and so on. So for that purpose, you can very well use it, but not for generation of ideas or generating a complete new article using all these GenAI tools. So different publishers, they have got their own guideline. Okay. And because the problem is, let's say if the stuff is generated by AI or if the movie is generated by AI, right? Who will be the author? So who should be the author of that particular stuff? Because it is an intellectual property, okay, governed by under Copyright Act. So that is what I was referring to. That is the characters generated by celebrities. Okay, they will be at stake, right? So that is again, there are a lot of legal aspects as well of this particular technology, but we will not dwell into all those kind of thing. But let us try to understand that is up to what extent we can use it and where we should stop. Okay, so we should not use it for generation of ideas or for writing complete paper, but you may use it for maybe grammar checking or the formatting of the paper and so on. Okay, so AI in education, again, you may use it for student assessment, teaching, learning. I'll show you certain tools on this one. Research and quality, maybe for carrying out literature survey and so on. So all those things we may use it. And this is typically an indicative list, okay, of some of the tools. Okay, we'll just try to have some hands-on on all these tools. Okay, definitely. But this is an indicative list, maybe Elicit, maybe Research Rabbit, okay, Sky Space, and so on. Right. Now, having said this, let us move to the demonstration of all these tools. But before that, let's say if you have any query, okay, with regard to whatever we have seen just now, okay, you can fire it now. Let me begin with the demonstration of some of these tools. Okay, just tell me the area you want to explore first. Which particular area you want to explore? Teaching, learning, or research, or what is it? We will have some demonstration. आप मुझसे जुड़े हुए हैं, मुझे लगता है आप अराउंड 59 लोग हैं. if I'm not wrong. I don't know, the coordinator sir is there, but okay sir, are you there? Okay. So I hope my entire screen is visible to you. आप में से कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे? Yes. Madam, you want to ask something? Mamta. Ole, madam, you want to ask something? Oh, Sangeeta. All right. So what we'll do, research. Okay. Actually, I was not able to see it. Okay, that's why I've dragged this. Anyway, so research we wanted to have a look at. So let us begin with research, no problem. And let's say if you are using those tools, please let me know so that we will skip that particular tool and we'll go ahead with some other tool. Right. So I hope I'm loud and clear and my slides are, my entire screen is visible to you. Okay. So as somebody has said, that is, let us begin with the research front. Okay, let me restore my pages. Whether you are using Research Rabbit, any one of you, if you can unmute yourself. Hello. Whether you are using Research Rabbit, say yes or no. It is as simple as that. Hello. Chat box में डाल दीजिए हाँ या ना. Okay, no. चलिए. Let's begin with the Research Rabbit. So let's see what it is, and I hope my entire screen is visible to you. So we will kickstart with researchrabbitapp.com. This is the URL. What you need to note is this is the or you can Google it out. Okay, there is no problem as such. Okay, researchrabbitapp.com. Okay, let me put some light on this particular tool. This is a tool which has been built or developed using free and open source philosophy, that is FOSS. Okay, so this is completely free. The very first thing is that you need not have to worry about the subscription fee or the license fee you need to pay in the times to come. But this is completely free because it has been built on the free and open source philosophy. Right. Now, let's say if you are a new user, you need to many times log in through your Gmail account, or sometime you need to create your account as well on some of the tools. Okay. But my advice would be, let's say if you want to use these tools, don't make use of your personal Gmail account. Okay, because what will happen? Okay, because I said the beta version of these tool is completely free. But let's say if you want to use their pro version, okay, then definitely your mailbox will be bombarded with a lot of emails in that regard for the subscription and so on. So as to avoid that, create a separate Gmail ID dedicated for this particular purpose so that you will be relaxed. Okay, you will be relaxed. Okay. And this new collection now, if you simply go to this website, you will find that on the left hand side you have got various tabs over there. That is new collection, new category. Okay, there is one important tab, what they call it as import from Zotero collection. Okay, so you may import some of the stuff from the Zotero. One, what is Zotero? Zotero is a free referencing tool. Okay, let's say if I want to add some papers directly, and this is typically the basic purpose of this particular tool is to find out the real literature in your domain. Okay, whatever domain you are working in. Okay, if you want to find out some real literature or identify the authors who are actively working in your domain, you may make use of this particular tool, right? So this is typically for literature survey, finding out some stuff, appropriate stuff, tailored stuff. Okay. Now you may say, some of you may argue, okay, sir, what is wrong in Google? So Google's approach is altogether different. In this case, it uses AI, whatever we have learned so far, right? So all those concepts, they are being exploited here at the back end so as to give you the appropriate answers, right? Now, let's say, as I was talking about, this is the additional facility you have got here, that is import Zotero collection. Okay, so these are the two collections I have already imported. Let's say this way you have got few more, you can add it up. Okay, right now I have added these two things. Okay, so import from Zotero collection. Let's say I want to create a new collection. Okay, so simply click on this new collection button. Okay, we will start from scratch. Okay, click on this new collection. Now, moment you click on that, okay, something like this will appear wherein you can give the title. Now, let's say AI in. Now, you just tell me the area you want to look into. Any one of you. कहाँ में आप सर्च करना चाहते हैं? सॉरी, मुझे यकीन है कि आप लोग मुझसे जुड़े हुए हैं. I know the sessions are exhaustive. Let's say chemistry. Any specific area, madam? Let us give the title as chemistry. Okay, no worries. Okay, this is title I have given. Okay, so what it has done, it has created a AI in chemistry as the new topic. Okay, somebody was saying biotechnology, but I have already taken one. Okay, let's move ahead with that. Okay, let's move ahead with the chemistry. Okay, so AI in chemistry. Okay, now if you look at this particular line, okay, where I have placed my tooltip. Okay, it is right now it is showing 0. Okay, now I am interested in finding out some stuff in chemistry. Okay, need to simply click on this 0. Moment you click on that 0, okay, some more windows will be popped up. Okay, wherein on the right hand side you have got some add paper functionality, right? So click on that add paper functionality. Okay, now here you can type AI in. Now you need to respond. Whosoever has said AI in chemistry. अब थोड़ा सा आगे बताइए मैडम, आगे क्या लिखना है? केमिस्ट्री बहुत ब्रॉड हो गया है ना. Now I'm writing the prompt. Okay, AI in chemistry or analytical chemistry. To my mind, this comes very first. That is analytical chemistry. Okay, for, let's say, industrial use, and we'll make it more complicated in India. Okay, let us be very specific. Our intention is to find out the AI in analytical chemistry for industrial use in India. Let's see whether some stuff is there in this regard. Okay. So, moment you click on search, okay, what happens is there are two perspectives. It will show you biomedical and life sciences and the all subject areas. Okay, let's say I want to go for all subject areas. I need to click on this all subject areas. Okay. Now it is thinking, right? It is thinking. Result powered by semantic scholar. Okay. Again, the same thing happened yesterday as well. What we need to do is, let's say, if we remove this in India or used industrial use, say, let's see some AI in analytical chemistry. Let's do it again. Okay, because it may happen that in a particular country, okay, there are no work which has taken place in that regard. So now what I did, I have made it more generic. Okay, I made it. I have deleted the rest of the word that is for industrial use and some Indian context and so on. Those things I have deleted. So I've got some responses. So it may be possible. Okay. Now what has happened? It has identified. Now it is asking me to choose papers to power research rabbit's recommendation. Now what I can do, I can go through the paper. Now not only the paper is there, but along with the paper, what is it? Some abstract is coming up, so I can go through the abstract and I can take a call whether it is to be included or it is to be excluded from my collection. So what we'll do, we'll add up some randomly certain papers into this, okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, let's see. Now this is not there in case of a Google. Whether Google provide you this kind of functionality, the answer is a big no. Okay, so what we are doing, we are identifying some papers which we feel relevant. Okay, in case of Google, what happens is you need to go to maybe open all those tabs in some new windows, download the paper, go through the abstract, then take a final decision. Okay. So instead, what I'm doing it on a click. Okay, I'm taking that decision whether it is appropriate or not. So what has happened? It has come up now. I have added around 12 papers in this AI in chemistry. Okay, more specifically analytical chemistry. Okay, but what has happened on this right hand side? One more panel has been added, which is indicating that similar works 46, these authors 49, and suggested authors are 2. Now it is giving me some suggestion recommendation as well. Now let us try to explore these similar works, which is roughly 46. Okay. Now what it has done for me, see, look at the potential of this particular tool. It has not only identified those 49, 46 papers, but it has identified how their work is related with each other. So you have a connectivity diagram, beautiful, okay, which you can make use of in your literature survey as well. Okay, now apart from this tool is so powerful that is even you can specify the timeline. जैसे मुझे देखना है पिछले 2022 से 25 में, तो I can specify the timeline using this timeline filter. Or let's say I am looking for a specific author, so I can put it in the specific author, the first author tab. Now it has not stopped there. What has happened? It is giving me again, these are the 343 authors and suggested authors are 919. So this way I can go to n number of levels. So sky is the limit, right? Sky is the limit. Now it is doing all those whatever we used to do when we carry out literature survey, which takes months together on a click. Okay, on a click, right? On a click. So this is the beauty of this particular tool, right? This is the beauty of this particular tool. That is, it is using AI at the back end, okay, to give you the appropriate responses, right? To give you the appropriate responses. All right. Now let us. Uh, anybody who wish to ask anything with regard to this particular tool? This, I think I have already demonstrated, that is you can import from Zotero collection. All right. So this is for literature survey or finding out the real stuff in your domain. Okay. So you may do lot many things. Again, very powerful tool. Okay. You may carry out some surveys. Okay. Or you can donate if you feel like, if you are happy with this stuff. Okay. You may donate something to them. All right. Then, is this okay? Shall I move ahead with the second tool?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell you. Yes, the second tool is let's say you want to analyze or synthesize research paper. Okay, using some AI tool. So there is a tool called illicit.com. I don't know whether you are using it, but let's say if you are not using it, again, this is a very fantastic and powerful tool. Okay, but the beta version of this particular tool is free. Let's say if you want to use the pro, then definitely you need to pay for it. Okay. And as far as the beta version is concerned, you can directly log in using your Gmail credential. Say, for example, right now, I have logged in through my Gmail credential, right? So, mohammed.atik@gmail.com. You need to simply log in using your login ID and password. Okay, so you will get something like this. Now, here you can write the prompt. Now, you just tell me what should I search for. I'll show you how you can analyze or synthesize papers. So any one of you can unmute yourself. Not necessarily AI. We'll look for anything else. Okay, if you have a well-formed formula or a prompt, just tell me. Or otherwise, I will go by the earlier example. Yes, cyber security oblique IoT. Okay, so AI in, let's go cyber security. Okay. Again, very broad prompt. Now, how will categorize this prompt? 0 shot, 1 shot, few shots. Okay. This is the prompt actually. Whenever you type something, okay, in this box is the prompt area, wherein whatever you type will be considered as a prompt. So what has happened, AI in cybersecurity, it has come up with some papers, okay. Not only the papers, but it has come up with the abstract summary as well. Okay, so one left hand side you have got the paper. Along with that paper, you have got the abstract summary, and and so on. Right now, what I can do, let's say I want to find out the research gaps. Okay, so you can click on this on the right hand panel. You have got these add a column. Okay, wherein you have got lot many things. Okay, so go to show more. You will find research gap somewhere. So simply click on this research gap. What will happen? It will add up one more column. Okay, that is what they call it as the research gap, and that column will be populated with the extract from the respective papers. Now it is on a single click, it is showing me the research gap for all the papers. Okay, for all the papers, whatever we have identified, maybe 7-8 papers. Right now, as I said, that is the beta version of this is free. Okay, but the pro version is paid. Okay, so what is the limitation in terms of beta version is you cannot exceed more than 4 column in a single go, right? So let's say right now I am having 1, 2, 3, so I may go ahead with one more, maybe the future research. Okay, I may add up, but let's say if I try to go beyond this, it will cry. Okay, it will ask you to go for a subscription, paid subscription. But the solution is you may delete some few more columns. This is the future research which has come up. Okay, the future research which has come up. Okay, so what you need to do is you can delete few more columns which were there earlier. Okay, and you can add a new column. So that way you can very well resolve that issue as well, right? So even this is what add a new step. Okay, so this is what chain of thought or whatever you call it as. Okay, the output of one step, you may give it to the next step. So I may select those papers, and you can do a lot of many things actually with this tool. Again, very fantastic tool for synthesizing or analyzing research paper. Right. Now, having said this, let me move ahead with some other aspects of research, or maybe say teaching learning. Okay, few aspects are, let's say, this tool probably, I don't know how many of you are using. Whether you are using Notebook LM, say yes or no. I'm surprised.
No.
चलिए. So Notebook LM देखते हैं. Notebook LM is a product of Google, and for using Notebook LM, you need not have to pay anything. It is completely free. Okay. Now, how we can use it? It can be used for teaching, learning, or research purposes, both. Okay. Let's say you have downloaded a research paper, okay, and you want to learn what is there in that particular paper. Now, what do we do normally most of the time? We go through the content and then, okay, read it again and again. Many times we have to read it. Let's say if it is a quality paper, okay, so there are very many things which are stored in few statements. So you need to identify it. So for understanding that paper, you may make use of this particular tool. Okay, this is a notebook. Okay, and again for your student teaching learning purposes, again you may use it. This is completely free, as I have told you. You need to go to simply this notebook lm.google.com. Okay, you will find something like this. Okay, on your screen. Okay, wherein let's say you want to create a new notebook, simply click on this create a new. Moment you click on create new, something like this will pop up on your screen. Okay, so wherein you need to specify the source from where you want to learn. Let's say if you have a file which is stored on your desktop, okay, you may choose this particular option. Okay, you may choose this particular option. Let's say if you want to learn from something, some paper or document which is there on your Google Drive, you may select this particular option, that is Google Workspace or Google Drive. So you can fetch that document directly here. Or let's say if something is there which is on the website of an institution, or maybe for research purposes, if it is in some open access journal, so you want to fetch that paper, you do not want to download it and then upload it. Okay, so you can fetch that stuff as long as it is in the public domain. Now you may ask, sir, if some paper which is there in the IEEE Explore, whether you will be able to fetch it? The answer is no, because IEEE Explore, definitely you need, if you want to download that paper, okay, you need to pay for it. Okay, you need to pay for it, some dollar, $7-8, right? But if it is, as long as it is in the public domain, as I was referring to, if it is open access journal which is available on the in the public domain, then you can fetch that stuff directly by using this website option link. You may provide the complete link. Or let's say you want to learn something from YouTube. Okay, some video which is there in English. Okay, and you want to learn or rather translate that video into your local language, maybe Marathi, Hindi, or Gujarati. Right now, it has got support of 7-8 languages, but in future, it will definitely have almost all the Indian languages. But whenever I used to log in, I used to find some new feature added into it. So it is right now, it is in the infant stage. It is being developed by Google, and the functionalities are being added. But it is whatever it is at this point of time. Again, it is very powerful. The fourth option is सर प्लीज आप हिंदी भाषा भी यूज करो ना, चलिए। हाँ, तो मैं ये कह रहा था कि भाई ये जो टूल आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, ये टूल आप सीखने के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं। तो सीखने में आपको मैंने जो कहा कि नोटबुक एलएम पे जाएंगे आप, आपके जीमेल अकाउंट से लॉगिन किया आपने, उसके बाद में सिंपली गो टू notebooklm.google.com। अब यहाँ पे हम ये सीख रहे हैं कि भाई हमको जो जिस चीज से हमको सीखना है वो कैसे अपलोड करना। तो यहाँ 4 ऑप्शन है, एक है अपलोड सोर्सेस, एक है गूगल वर्कस्पेस, तीसरा है कोई लिंक डायरेक्टली आपको कोई वेबसाइट से लेना है, कोई यूट्यूब का वीडियो लेना है, कोई इंग्लिश में यूट्यूब का आपने कुछ वीडियो देखा, उसको आपको मराठी में सुनना है या हिंदी में सुनना है, तो आप बड़े आसानी से यहाँ कर सकते हैं। या कोई टेक्स्ट आपने कॉपी करके रखा है क्लिप बोर्ड पे, जिसको अपन Ctrl+C Ctrl+V बोलते हैं, ठीक है, तो वो भी पेस्ट किया जा सकता है डायरेक्टली बाय यूजिंग दिस थर्ड ऑप्शन। तो अब अपन क्या करते हैं, एक फाइल लेते हैं सिंपल, है ना, एक सिंपल फाइल लेते हैं, इस पे जाते हैं डेस्कटॉप पे, और यहाँ पे देखते हैं भाई मेरा प्रोफाइल ले लेते हैं एक पेज का, क्योंकि अभी कोई रिसर्च पेपर तो ढूंढना जरा मुश्किल होगा। ठीक है, तो ब्रीफ प्रोफाइल लेटेस्ट, ये मेरा एक पीडीएफ लिया मैंने। ठीक है, अब इसको ओपन करके मैं अपलोड कर रहा हूँ। तो अपलोड जैसे ही कर रहा हूँ, तो यहाँ देख पा रहे हैं आप लोग, इधर लेफ्ट हैंड पैनल में सोर्सेस में ये पेपर अपलोड हो गया। एक पेज का जो भी था, जो मेरा डॉक्यूमेंट था ब्रीफ प्रोफाइल, वो अपलोड हो गया। ठीक है, आपने अगर थोड़ा पहले कहा रहता तो मैं पहले से ही हिंदी में बोला रहता, कोई प्रॉब्लेम नाही आहे। ठीक आहे, इवन मराठीत बोलू शकतो, तसा काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही आहे। ठीक आहे, आता आपण काय करू शकतो, या पेपर जे काही लोड केलाय आपण, याच्यावर आपण चैट करू सकते, चैट पीडीएफ, सो दैट चैट फंक्शनलिटी इज देयर। मतलब आपको इसके साथ में अब मुझे देखना है कि भाई ये मेरा प्रोफाइल है, तो इस पे मुझे देखना है कि व्हाट इज द ब्रेड्थ ऑफ अतीक्स प्रोफेशनल एक्सपीरियंस, कि भाई इनका एक्सपीरियंस कितना था। ठीक है ना, तो इस पे मैं क्लिक करता हूँ, तो देखिए यहाँ पे रिस्पॉन्स आना शुरू हो जाएंगे। ओके, तो ये रिस्पॉन्सेज देख रहे हैं आप, तो रिस्पॉन्सेज आना शुरू हो गए। अब इसमें आप क्या कर सकते हैं, इसमें आप माइंड मैप बना सकते हो। ओके, माइंड मैप बना सकते हो। माइंड मैप क्या होता है, यानी वो पेपर में से क्या करेगा वो, जो अपन, अगर आप नोट्स निकालते होंगे कभी, ठीक है ना, कोई सब्जेक्ट आपको पढ़ना है, तो हम क्या करते हैं उसमें के पॉइंट्स लेते हैं, पॉइंट से एक छोटा सा माइंड मैप बनाते हैं जो हमको याद करने में आसान रहे। तो ये माइंड मैप की फंक्शनलिटी भी इसमें है, इस पे क्लिक करना है आपको, माइंड मैप आ जाएगा। ठीक है, लेकिन ये सब क्लाउड पे होता है, गूगल क्लाउड पे। तो जैसे अगर आपने वीडियो का बोला, तो थोड़ा सा वक्त लेगा ये। ठीक है, थोड़ा सा वक्त लेगा, है ना, लेकिन बाकी जो चीजें हैं बड़ी आसानी से कर देगा। से फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैं इसका जो ये जो फाइल है, इसका ऑडियो या वीडियो भी बना सकता हूँ। ठीक है, और वो भी एक पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज में बना सकता हूँ। ठीक है, बाय डिफॉल्ट इंग्लिश में बनता है, लेकिन आपको चाहिए हिंदी में या मराठी में या गुजराती में, आई थिंक गुजराती इज अगेन देयर, है ना, मे बी तमिल और कन्नड़, ओके, फ्यू मोर लैंग्वेजेस आर देयर, ठीक है, तो वो भी मैं यहाँ बना सकता हूँ, ओके, वो भी मैं यहाँ बना सकता हूँ, लेकिन ये थोड़ा सा वक्त लेगा, क्योंकि आपकी जो जो भी चीजें हैं ये सारे गूगल क्लाउड पे हो रही हैं। तो से फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने ये ऑडियो ओवरव्यू का बात की है, तो ऑडियो में क्या करेगा, ये फाइल को ट्रांसलेट करेगा पॉडकास्ट के फॉर्म में, मतलब एक बंदा कोई इंटरव्यू ले रहा है, दूसरा कोई इंटरव्यू दे रहा है, उस फॉर्म में, क्वेश्चन आंसर के फॉर्म में ये पूरी टेक्स्ट फाइल कन्वर्ट हो जाएगी। महाराष्ट्रातील सर्व कोर्स मराठी किंवा हिंदी पाहिजे ठीक आहे ना सर, ॲग्रीड 100%. ठीक आहे. काळजी करू नका, मी बोलू शकतो. तुम्ही मला अगोदर सांगितलं असतं तर मी मराठीत बोललो असतो, काही प्रॉब्लम नहीं. एनीवे, और हमने तो अभी जो एनईपी 2020 में आपको पता होगा कि वी हैव अडॉप्टेड अ 3 लैंग्वेज फॉर्मूला, जहाँ पे आप, मैंने बार-बार शुरू भी किया सेशन तो आपसे बार-बार कहा कि सर आप में से कुछ लोग हिंदी, मराठी, जो भी लैंग्वेज में बोलना चाहें, लेकिन व्हाट हैज़ हैपेंड, आप लोग खामोश रहे, है ना? तो फिर मैंने शुरू कर दिया, भाई अब क्या करें? मेरा भी एक कंफर्ट ज़ोन है, ठीक है? उस कंफर्ट ज़ोन में मैंने बातें की। खैर एनीवे, मेरा मोटिव ये है कि मैं एटलीस्ट आई हैव गॉट अ मल्टीलिंगुअल सपोर्ट, मैं हिंदी, मराठी, इंग्लिश में बोल सकता हूँ, क्योंकि आई एम बोर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप इन महाराष्ट्र, जैसे मैंने शायद बीच में डिस्कशन में बताया ही, बल्कि आपके, आई बिलॉन्ग टू दी वेरी सिटी अकोला एंड आई लव अकोला एज़ ऑन डेट टू, ठीक है? तो मैं इसी मिट्टी से बना हूँ सर, आप लोगों में से ही हूँ, ठीक है? कोई फॉरेन-वॉरेन से नहीं आया हूँ। चलिए, तो बात कर रहे थे अपन इस टूल की, तो इस टूल का अपन कुछ वीडियो मैंने जो जनरेट किए थे, ऑडियो या वीडियो, आपको मैं दिखा देता हूँ। आज का तो नहीं होगा, ये थोड़ा-सा टाइम लेता है, मैंने जैसे कहा आपको, जनरेशन में टाइम लेता है और कुछ भी नहीं। तो मैं कुछ वीडियो फंक्शनैलिटी दिखाना चाह रहा था आपको। देखिए, फ्लैश कार्ड की फंक्शनैलिटी आ गई है इसमें, जो पहले नहीं हुआ करती थी, रिपोर्ट्स हैं। तो ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो आप इसमें कर सकते हो, बहुत सारी चीजें कर सकते हो। अब आप बोलोगे कि सर ये जो टेक्स्ट फाइल है, इसको आपने ऑडियो या वीडियो में क्यों ट्रांसलेट किया, क्या फायदा हुआ इसका? तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, छोटी सी वीडियो फाइल होगी, इसको डाउनलोड किया, मोबाइल पे रख लिया और अपने लेजर टाइम में हेडसेट लगा के सुनते बैठे रहे, तो बढ़िया मजा आएगा, आप सीख लोगे वो चीज। और वो भी पॉडकास्ट के फॉर्म में है, मतलब कोई किसी से क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है और जवाब दे रहा है, क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है, जवाब दे रहा है। तो बड़ी फैंटास्टिक चीज है, कभी आप इस पे खेल के देखिए इसके साथ में, जस्ट प्ले विद दिस पर्टिकुलर टूल, ओके, यू विल लव इट, आई टेल यू, यू विल लव इट। और बच्चों के लिए भी अच्छा है। तो इसमें 3 पैनल होते हैं, एक है आपके लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में सोर्सेस, बीच में है चैट, और तीसरी साइड में स्टूडियो। स्टूडियो की फंक्शनलिटी मैंने आपको बताई है। तो इसमें आप रिपोर्ट भी जनरेट कर सकते हैं। कौन कौन से प्रकार की रिपोर्ट जनरेट कर सकते हैं, देखिए, लुक एट द पावर, ओके, यू मे क्रिएट योर ओन, ओके, ब्रीफिंग डॉट, यानी इसके शॉर्ट में अपन नोट्स जो निकालते हैं ना, वो भी निकाल के देगा आपको, स्टडी गाइड बना के देगा, ब्लॉग पोस्ट बना के देगा, राइट, प्रोफेशनल बायोग्राफी बना देगा आपकी, ठीक है, आपका प्रोफाइल बना देगा, कंसेप्ट एक्सप्लेनर भी रहेगा, एक आधा बहुत ही, आपने रिसर्च पेपर डाउनलोड किया, उसमें एक ऐसा कंसेप्ट है जो आपके समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, तो उसको भी एक्सप्लेन करके देगा। सी, दिस इज द पावर ऑफ एआई, ओके। सो कैरियर स्नैपशॉट कर देगा, आपके एक्सपर्ट विटनेस प्रोफाइल बना देगा, और ये चीजें डे बाय डे, जैसे मैंने कहा, इससे पहले मैंने चेक किया था तो ये कुछ तो भी 6 थे फीचर्स, नाउ इट हैज इंक्रीज टू 8, अभी 8 फीचर्स आ गए। तो डे बाय डे हो रहा है, इसमें आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, आपका एक जीमेल अकाउंट है, और इसके लिए आप आपका पर्सनल जीमेल भी यूज किया तो देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम एज सच, ठीक है। तो कोई चिंता का विषय नहीं है, ये एक अच्छा टूल है जिसको आप यूज कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे कुछ फीचर्ड नोटबुक्स है, जो आपको एग्जाम्पल के लिए देखना है तो आप समझ सकते हैं, ठीक है, इसको एक्सप्लोर करके इसको भी देख सकते हैं आप, ये सारे वीडियोस, ठीक है। सीक्रेट्स ऑफ, नो इट इज ऑन सम थेमेटिक एरिया, है ना, वर्ल्ड अहेड 2025, इकोनॉमिस्ट, है ना, किसी को अगर फाइनेंस में इंटरेस्ट है तो वो ये वीडियो देख सकता है। तो ये वीडियो बोल रहा हूँ मैं, ये पर्टिकुलर नोटबुक एक्सप्लोर करके देख सकता है। तो इसमें उन्होंने बहुत सारी चीजें बना के रखी है, अगर आप देखोगे तो, ठीक है, इसमें बहुत सारी चीजें बनी है, अगर आप एक्सप्लोर करोगे तो। सर्व कोर्स, महाराष्ट्रातील सर्व कोर्स मराठी, हिंदी, इंग्रजी नंतरही बोलत आहे। काय म्हणणं आहे सर आपलं, थोडा अनम्यूट करा आणि बोला. मी बोलायला तयार आहे.
सर,
बोला बोला. बोला
आपण
सर.
महाराष्ट्रात राहतो
हो.
आणि 29-30 वर्ष आम्ही नोकरी करतो किंवा हे सगळं करतो
बरोबर
आणि
आहे.
कोर्स महाराष्ट्रामध्ये होतोय.
बरोबर
मग
आहे सर.
मराठी हिंदीमध्ये कोर्स व्हायला काय हरकत आहे? कारण तुमच्या म्हणजे मला एवढं म्हणायचं आहे की 50-100 लोक इथे ऍडमिट आहे, परंतु सिलेक्टेड लोकच तिथे जॉईन होतात आणि कोणालाच काही समजत नाही.
असं मला नाही वाटत सर.
आणि त्याचा उत्तर द्यायला कोणी काहीच करत नाही. उत्तर कोणी देत नाही.
मला नाही
पण
वाटत मी असे
मला एनईपी बद्दल ऐकायचंच होतं.
हो,
पण
बोला ना.
एनईपी आणि बाकी मला हे बोलायचं होतं. एनईपी
हां.
मध्ये कसं आहे, बीए आणि इतर बीए आणि फक्त इंजिनिअरिंग, मेडिकल, सायन्स,
नाही,
इंजिनिअरिंग
नाही तसं नाहीये
आणि
सर.
इतर
तसं काहीच
लोकां
नाहीये. सर
हां,
आज हा जो सेशन होता ना, हा सेशन कशावर
हां.
होता सर?
नाही, नाही तुमचं
तर
खूप
ऐकू घ्या.
मी ऐकलं. मी सगळं पाहतोय.
हो.
परंतु मला मला हे म्हणायचं आहे, की बाकीच्या लोकांकडे लक्ष द्यायकडे ना, गरीबाकडेही
नाही,
लक्ष
नाही, नाही,
द्यायचं ना.
तसं नाहीये सर. तसं नाहीये.
हां,
लक्ष सगळ्यांकडे
हां.
आहे.
अरे
परंतु प्रॉब्लेम काय
इंजिनिअरिंग
होते
पहा,
आता
मला
आता मी
मला
तुम्हाला सांगतो सर.
मला हे म्हणायचं नाही. इंजिनिअरिंग, मेडिकल किंवा सायंटिस्ट आणि हे सगळं झालं. पण
हो.
बाकीचेही लोक आहेत ना.
बरोबर आहे ना सर. माझा कसं म्हणणं
हां.
आहे,
आणि
की
मला
हे
हे
जे टूल
म्हणायचं आहे,
आहे ना सर, सर
बाकीचे लोक इतके झिरो आहे.
नाही, नाही तसं नाहीये सर. नोबडी इज झिरो
असं
आय टेल
म्हणायचं.
यू. हा तुमचा मोठापण आहे. मी लहान आहे सर तुमच्यापेक्षा. ठीक आहे.
नाही, नाही,
बट
नाही
लेट मी
सर.
बी व्हेरी
नाही,
क्लिअर
नाही
सर.
सर.
सर मी काय म्हणतो, मी पण
हां.
तुम्हाला एक्झॅक्टली मला माहित नाही, तुम्हाला माहित असेल. मी ॲज ऑन डेट 35 वर्ष झाले आहे
ओके.
सर माझे. आणि शासकीय सेवेत आहे
ओके,
सर.
ओके, 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 ओके. आय एम
1990 पासून
20
नाही
आय एम 20
1990
इयर्स इन सर्व्हिस.
1990 पासून सर मी शासकीय सेवेत आहे. आणि माझे
अरे
जे
व्हेरी,
बॅचमेट
व्हेरी,
होते ना
व्हेरी,
सर,
व्हेरी गुड, व्हेरी गुड,
सर
व्हेरी गुड. बट
शासकीय
बट
शासकीय सर
इन
ऐकून घ्या.
बट
ऐकून
हां.
घ्या. तुम्ही एक
ओके,
एकदम
ओके.
विवादित मुद्दा आता हा छेडला
हं,
आहे. माझं असं
हं.
म्हणणं आहे, की माझ्या पुरं आयुष्य जे आहे ना महाराष्ट्रात गेलं. मी गव्हर्नमेंट इंजिनिअरिंग शासकीय
ओके.
अभियांत्रिकी महाविद्यालय अमरावतीत शिकलो. माझे जे
अरे
बॅचमेट
व्हेरी गुड,
होते
व्हेरी
सर,
गुड.
माझे जे बॅचमेट्स होते ना सर, ते आता डॉलरमध्ये कमवतात. राईट. मला ते म्हणजे ते खंत नाहीये. माझं असं म्हणणं आहे, की आय एम अ
बट
हार्ड
आय एम
वर्किंग.
माझे बॅचमेट आहेत तेही डॉलरमध्येच आहेत. बट मी अमरावतीमध्येच आहे. हां,
मी
हां.
पण अमरावतीलाच आहे सर आणि आय एम हॅपी व्हॉट एव्हर आय एम डुइंग. तो
बट
मैं जो
बट
भी कर रहा हूँ सर.
बट टू द कम्युनिकेशन टू मी आय एम बट राम कुलसंगे.
येस सर, येस सर. ठीक आहे ना
हो.
सर. काही हरकत नाही.
म्हणून
मी प्रयत्न
मी
केला सर.
ऐकतो, मुद्दाम केलं मी. हां, मी
आणि
ऐकतं
नाही, नाही, नाही.
म्हणजे
काही
मला
काही
एक
प्रॉब्लेम नाही सर. काहीच प्रॉब्लेम नाही. तुम्ही एक
हां, मला
मुद्दा पण हा मुद्दा अगर तुम्ही लवकर सांगितला असता, तर मी मराठीत बोललो असतो. काही प्रॉब्लेम
नाही
नाही.
मराठी
असं
म्हणजे
पण नाही.
महाराष्ट्रात, अमरावती महाराष्ट्रात म्हणजे होतो आहे आणि ते बरं मी हे म्हणत नाही. पण कोणी
बट
कमेंट्स
एक
करत नाही आणि हे म्हणायचं आहे मला. म्हणजे
नाही, नाही,
कोणीच
नाही.
कमेंट
एक
करत नाही. मी
एक लक्षात
ऐकतो
ठेवा सर,
आणि
काही
आणि
गोष्ट
आज पहा, आज संडेचा कोर्स मी मुद्दाम मला माहीत नाही. मला माहीत होतं 2 ते नंतरचा टाईम. परंतु
येस,
मुद्दाम
येस.
यांनी म्हणजे मला माहीत नाही ना. मला ठरलं आहे, की मला 2 वाजतापासून मला जॉइन व्हायचं आहे. मला
बरोबर,
काही घेणं-देणं नाही. पण मला
बरोबर.
त्याचा इंटरेस्ट, मला अभ्यास, माझा हे
हं.
सगळं मला पाहिजे आहे. परंतु
पाहिजे आहे ना
2
सर.
वाजताचं हे मला म्हणजे टू द टाईम मिळाल्यामुळे मग मला असं वाटलं, की मला हेही अपेक्षित आहे ना.
बरोबर आहे सर. तुमची अपेक्षा बरोबर आहे. मी त्याच्याबद्दल काहीच आय डू
आणि
नॉट हॅव एनी ऑब्जेक्शन.
आपण मला सांगा,
माझा हं.
मी जर रिफ्रेशर किंवा मला आय-क्यू-एस-सी ओरिएंटेशन कुठेतरी
हो,
केलं मी.
हो, हो.
म्हणजे मलेशिया किंवा काश्मीर, तिथं
हो.
माझ्याशी कोणी बोलणार नाही ना.
तसं नाहीये सर.
बरोबर आहे ना?
असं आता
नाही, नाही.
कसं झालेलं
माझा
आहे
मुद्दा
सर, आता
आपण
नाही तेच मी तुम्हाला सांगायला इच्छितो, की आता वर्ल्ड जे आहे ना सर, इट इज नाउ इन युअर हँड. अभी आपके हाथ में है सर वो. आपकी इच्छा
नाही, नाही.
होना
वो
आपको
तो
कहाँ पहुँचना है.
नहीं,
आपकी इट
मुझे
ऑल
वो तो
डिपेंड्स ऑन युअर इच्छा शक्ति.
नहीं,
असं आहे सर.
मोदी साहब बोलते कि
बिल्कुल,
जिस सब्जेक्ट में है, जिस स्टेट में है, उस लैंग्वेज होना ही है.
बिल्कुल होना चाहिए सर. मैं भी एग्री हूँ, लेकिन
कारण
क्या
मी
होता है अभी आपको मैं
महाराष्ट्रात आहो
बताता हूँ.
म्हणून
आपको मैंने
मी
जो रिसोर्स
गुजरातमध्ये
पर्सन
गेलो किंवा कॅनडामध्ये गेलो किंवा इतर स्टेटमध्ये गेलो, तर मी त्या भाषेमध्ये कन्व्हर्ट नाही केलं, तर इंग्लिशमध्ये करेल ना.
बरोबर आहे सर, बरोबर आहे. परंतु एक
पण
लक्षात घ्या सर.
महाराष्ट्रात असल्यावर महाराष्ट्रामध्ये
हं.
मराठीच बोललं पाहिजे, हे माझा पहिल्यांदा आक्षेप आहे. हं.
नाही,
हो,
एव्हरीथिंग कॅनॉट
महाराष्ट्रात
बी टॉट इन मराठी सर.
ओके, ओके,
सर
ओके.
हां,
नाही, तो
हां.
हिंदी, इंग्लिश बट
हम कर ही
कम्युनिकेट
रहे हैं ना
ऑल
सर,
द वे।
हम कर ही रहे हैं। जैसी मैडम ने कहा तो मैंने हिंदी में शुरू कर दिया, अगर आपको याद हो
नाही,
तो।
हिंदी
और मैंने सर
चालतं,
आपको
मला
एक दुसरी
मराठी
चीज बताता
चालतं,
हूँ।
हिंदी चालतं,
नाही
इंग्रजी
नाही,
चालतो.
मी काय म्हणतो सर, मी माझे जे रिसोर्स पर्सन पण आहे ना, काल पण तुम्ही बघितलं असेल, हे
हो, नाही,
होते।
मी पूर्ण
नाही नाही नाही,
टोटली
त्यांनी
मी पाहतोय.
नाही नाही सर, त्यांनी इंग्रजीमध्ये सांगितलं, परंतु त्यांनी हिंदी पण यूज केली। त्यांनी सांगितलं सर मी महाराष्ट्रातील, तो
हो,
पीपल
हो,
आर,
मी
दे
मी
लव्ह
त्याला
देअर लँग्वेज सर। हा
नाही मी
असा नाहीच आहे की भाई कोणाला भाई आपली लँग्वेजची ते कदर नाही, तसं नाही आहे सर। परंतु देअर
हा,
आर लिमिटेशन सर, आणि लिमिटेशन
ओके
वी आर
ओके,
अगेन
हा
रिस्पॉन्सिबल। लिमिटेशन
हा,
कसे आहे सर? सध्या स्थितीत अनुवादित लिटरेचर आहे का? द आंसर इज नो।
हो.
उसके लिए
नाही
जवाबदार
सर,
कौन? आप
सर
और मैं।
बाकी आता ठीक आहे, मी हे बोलतो,
हाँ,
बोलायचं राहायला मला
हाँ, हाँ,
बोलायचं हे बोलतो,
हाँ,
इंजिनिअरिंग आणि मेडिकल जर किंवा सायन्स, इंजिनिअरिंग मेडिकल,
हाँ,
बीटेक, बी फॉर्म हे
हाँ।
जर सोडला तर बीए बीए हे बंद होणार भविष्यातलं.
का बरं?
का बरं?
ते
म्हणजे
आपल्याला
हे त्यांना
सर, वी
त्यांना
वी
असं
वी
नाही.
नीड टू वी नीड टू इंट्रोस्पेक्ट ना सर। आपल्याला आत्म निरीक्षण करावं लागेल, नंतर आपण
हा, त्याचा
conclusion वर येऊ
त्याचा
शकतो।
ऑब्झर्वेशन टू द
देर आर
ऑब्जेक्शन मी.
रिझन्स टू इट सर। दिस
ओके
मीटिंग
ओके
इज
ओके
बिंग
ओके.
रेकॉर्डेड। हे मीटिंग
हा,
रेकॉर्ड होत आहे सर। मला नाही वाटते की आपण ते असे कंट्रोवर्शियल इश्यूवर बोलावा, परंतु
हो
कधीतरी आपल्याला ते झाकून पाहावं लागेल सर, काय
हो
व्हॉट इज गोइंग रॉंग। एंड
ओके ओके
एज ए कम्युनिटी, मैं भी 35 साल से सर टीचिंग में हूँ। सम वे और दी अदर वी आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इट। आप और मैं ही
ओके
जिम्मेदार
ओके.
है सर इसके। ऐसा
हो,
मेरा मानना है। ठीक है, तो हमको
ओके.
सोचने की जरूरत है। आपको, मुझे तो जॉब मिल गया सर, लेकिन आने वाली
हाँ,
जनरेशन
वही
क्या
वही
करे?
वही आगे
हाँ।
टू दे. हाँ हाँ.
हाँ, है कि नहीं? तो पुरसांगे सर,
म्हणजे
थैंक यू वेरी मच
नंतरची
फॉर
पिढी
युअर
जी आहे ना.
वर्ड ऑफ विजडम, आई
हाँ
शुड से। आपने बहुत अच्छी बात कही। और अगर मुझे ये कोई
हाँ.
पार्टिसिपेंट पहले बोल देता कि सर आप हिंदी और मराठी में बोलिए, तो आई वुड हैव डिलिबरेटेड इन हिंदी और मराठी। मेरे लिए इंग्लिश, मेरे लिए भी फॉरेन लैंग्वेज है सर।
नहीं नहीं
यू
नहीं,
विल बी सर,
टोटल. हाँ
इट इज अ फॉरेन लैंग्वेज फॉर अस। मैं आपको, अब आपने बात ही छेड़ी, नहीं बात ही छेड़ी तो मैं बताता हूँ। मैं आपको एक
ओके ओके.
छोटी सी चीज शेयर करता हूँ। मैं 12वीं तक उर्दू मीडियम से पढ़ा हूँ। ठीक है।
अच्छा
व्हेन आई
अच्छा.
ज्वाइंड गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियरिंग ना, तो पहले एक महीना तो मुझे कुछ समझता नहीं था क्या बोल रहा बंदा करके। ठीक
ओके.
है। तो मैंने वो चीजें फेस की है सर लाइफ में। तो मैं भी ये मानता हूँ कि मदर टंग में ही सबसे अच्छा एजुकेशन होता है। इसमें
बेस्ट 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 बेस्ट.
देर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट। लेकिन क्या है सर, कुछ चीजें लिमिटेशन के लिए भी मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ कि आज अनुवादित अपने
सर
पास में
सर मेरी
मटेरियल
बात
है क्या?
बताओ क्या, मुझे
हाँ सर।
मराठी ही नहीं आती थी. मैं
अब
मुझे मराठी
अब
नहीं आती थी, बट माय लाइफ टू हिंदी, इंग्लिश
हाँ,
या गोंडी.
बराबर बराबर। अब मुझे इंग्लिश ही नहीं आती थी ना सर, मेरी तो प्रॉब्लम होती है। आपको ये बता रहा हूँ, ये जो स्किल्स आप देख रहे हैं, सपोज छोटा मोटा जो भी बोल पाता हूँ, ठीक
हाँ,
है,
छोटा
तो ये
छोटा मोटा.
सीखा है सर
तो
मैंने।
अभी इंग्लिश कैसी छोटी मोटी चला लेने के लिए करना पड़ता. वो
है कि नहीं? तो
कॉन्फ्रेंस यानी क्या है, वो तो
हाँ,
ओरिएंटेशन या वो तो मुझे
बराबर
करना ही है ना. आगे चल के मैं
बराबर
और करूंगा ना.
बराबर
रिफ्रेशर मैं
बराबर।
ऑनलाइन का सभी करूंगा मैं.
यस सर, यस
ओके,
सर।
थैंक यू, बहुत बढ़िया.
थैंक यू सर।
बहुत बढ़िया,
थैंक यू।
मुझे मेरे साथ कम्युनिकेशन
थैंक यू
हो
सर।
गया, ऑन
थैंक यू
रिकॉर्ड
सर।
हो गया, राम कुलसंगे से बात हो गई, ये तो बहुत बड़ी बात है.
सर, थैंक
ओके
यू।
थैंक
थैंक यू सर।
ओके
थैंक यू
थैंक
वेरी
यू
मच।
सर.
यस
ओके.
सर। पार्टिसिपेंट मेरे ख्याल से तकरीबन अपने 3 घंटे तो पूरे हो गए हैं। हमने हमने 5 मिनट का ब्रेक लिया था। तो अगर आप में से कुछ किसी के प्रश्न हैं तो कृपा करून पूछें। मुझे खुशी होगी आपके आंसर मिलेंगे। तो बताइए जो हमने देखा आज, शायद और बहुत से टूल्स थे, लेकिन अभी हमारे पास वक्त नहीं है। रफली 3 घंटे हो गए हैं। नॉट रफली, एग्जैक्टली 3 घंटे, बिकॉज आई ज्वाइंड एट 11 AM शार्प। बल्कि 11 बजने को शायद 10 मिनट कम थे, या 10 या 15 मिनट कम थे, उसी वक्त मैं ज्वाइन कर चुका था। एनीवे, सो विद दिस नोट आई थैंक यू ऑल। और जैसे कि गुरसांगे सर ने कहा कि भाई हिंदी मराठी से भी प्यार करिए, हमारी भाषाओं को हम नहीं प्यार करेंगे तो दूसरा कौन करेगा? ठीक है। तो डेफिनेटली हिंदी इज ऑन टॉप, नेशनल लैंग्वेज है। बाद में रीजनल लैंग्वेज में मराठी हमारे से दिल से जुड़ी हुई है। लेकिन आपके जो इख्तियार में है उतनी चीजें करिए और खुश रहिए। ठीक है। आज आपका संडे में सेशन लेना पड़ा, उसके लिए अप टू सम एक्सटेंट आई फील सॉरी। लेकिन देर आर रीजंस टू इट। ठीक है, देर आर रीजंस टू इट। क्योंकि आगे फेस्टिव सीजन है, आपको सब पता है। तो आप में से कुछ अगर कोई पूछना चाहे तो मुझे खुशी होगी। आई होप मुझसे जुड़े हुए हैं सब। हेलो।
यस सर।
जी बोलिए, कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे सर? मुझे 1-2 मिनट दीजिए, मैं सम अप करता हूँ आज हमने क्या देखा। हमने शुरू किया। यस
some questions in the chat box if you could see.
यस, प्लीज प्लीज
Chat
आगे।
chat box में questions है sir.
लेट मी चेक,
Yeah.
लेट मी चेक। गुड मॉर्निंग वगैरह वगैरह चल रहा है, लास्ट में देखते हैं। सर प्लीज टेल अबाउट टीचिंग लर्निंग एआय टूल्स नेम्स। ओके, सरांनी म्हटलं बरोबर, हिंदी भाषेत व्याख्यान सुरू केले त्यामुळे आता त्या विषयावर ओके, संपला विषय, संपला मॅडम। आता मला वाटते काही एकच क्वेश्चन दिसून राहिला की सर प्लीज टेल अबाउट टीचिंग लर्निंग एआई टूल्स नेम। तो इसमें मैंने आपको कुछ चीजें तो बताई यहाँ पे, तो आप जो देख सकते हैं, थोड़ा सा चैट पीडीएफ देखिए, एक्सप्लेन पेपर देखिए, कॉन्सेंसस देखिए, ठीक है, कॉन्सेंसस देखिए जो रिसर्च फ्रंट पे देखना चाहते हैं। और माइक्रोसॉफ्ट को पायलट भी है आपके सामने, चैट सोनिक है, ठीक है। तो ये सारे टूल हैं, एक्सप्लेन पेपर है, स्काई स्पेस है, ओके। और और भी बहुत सारे, नियर पॉड करके एक टूल है। मैं आपको 1-2 टूल और बताना चाह रहा था, कुछ कंसर्न पे बात करनी थोड़ी सी रह गई। मुझे 2 मिनट के लिए अलाउ करिए बोलने के लिए, थोड़ा सा एक्सटेंड कर लेंगे सेशन को, लेकिन कुछ बातें ऐसी है कि जो आपको पता होनी चाहिए। तो एक टूल ऐसा है जिसपे मुझे लगता है कि आपने थोड़ा सा काम करना चाहिए। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ये टूल है, आप में से कुछ लोग यूज करते होंगे या नहीं मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन दिस इज एलएम स्टूडियो। तो ये एक एलएम स्टूडियो करके यूटिलिटी है, इसको आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं आपके डेस्कटॉप पे। और इसका फायदा ये है कि आप जो भी काम करोगे, जो भी प्रॉम्प्ट लिखोगे, आपके जितने एपीआई क्रेडेंशियल है, आपकी सिक्योरिटी सेफ्टी रिलेटेड जो भी है, अगर आप ऑनलाइन मोड में काम करते हो तो यू आर एट रिस्क। मतलब आपको खतरा ये बना रहता है कि भाई कई बार आपकी चीजें, आपने जो प्रॉम्प्ट्स लिखे हैं उसके रिस्पॉन्सेस किसी और के पास ना चले जाएं। सो देर इज ऑलवेज थ्रेट टू योर सिक्योरिटी एंड प्राइवेसी। तो उसको अवॉइड करने के लिए आप ये एलएम स्टूडियो करके एक छोटी सी यूटिलिटी है, इसको डाउनलोड करिए। लेकिन ये थोड़ी सी रिसोर्स हंग्री है, इसको कंप्यूटर थोड़े से अच्छे लगेंगे आपके, पावरफुल कंप्यूटर्स लगेंगे, जैसे आप देख पा रहे हैं लोड होने में भी टाइम ले रहा है, ठीक है। तो इसको आप पॉपुलेट कर सकते हैं दूसरे बहुत बहुत सारे मॉडल से। मैंने जब यहाँ पे जो देख पा रहे हैं आप, गैमा 2 और लेमा 3.2 से अपलोड किया है इसको, ठीक है। तो ये टूल अगर आप यूज करना चाहें तो सिंपली आपको इस पे सिलेक्ट करना है। इसी तरह से आप यहाँ पे और टूल डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं और बाद में आपको एज यूजुअल यहाँ पे प्रॉम्प्ट करना है। तो इसका एडवांटेज ये है कि आप जो भी काम करोगे वो आपका लोकल मशीन पे रहेगा, ठीक है, ये कहीं बाहर नहीं जाएगा, ठीक है। तो ये एक टूल मैं आपसे शेयर करना चाह रहा था, ये एक टूल देखिए। और मेरे ख्याल से आज के लिए इतना ही काफी, मैं भी थोड़ा एग्जॉस्ट हो चुका हूँ, राइट। तो मेरे ख्याल से इट्स ओवर टू यू अंकित। Okay, so if there are any question in the chat box, sir, what are upcoming challenges to teacher community from AI? हाँ, ये एड्रेस कर लेता हूँ मैं एटलीस्ट। देर आर वेरी मेनी चैलेंजेस, बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस हैं टीचर्स के लिए, क्योंकि आने वाले दिन ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपको कुछ कस्टमाइज प्रोडक्ट मिले। अभी नॉर्मली आप और मैं टीच करते हैं तो ये 1-to-1 नहीं है, ये 1-to-many है। आप 60 लोगों को एड्रेस कर रहे हैं, 60 अलग अलग बच्चे बैठे हैं, हर एक की लर्निंग ट्रेनिंग स्पीड अलग है ना। कुछ बच्चे फास्ट लर्नर है, कुछ स्लो लर्नर है। तो ये एआई ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी है जो आपको कस्टमाइज्ड वो दे सकता है, जो बोला जाए कि रिस्पॉन्सेज दे सकता है। तो डेफिनेटली आपके और मेरे जॉब्स को खतरा है, लेकिन कोई ऐसा चिंता का विषय नहीं है, ठीक है, क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजियां आती हैं जाती हैं, आखिर में बनाया किसने है? आपने और मैंने ही बनाया है। इट इज मेड बाय ह्यूमन बीइंग एंड इट इज फॉर हुम, इट इज फॉर अस ओनली। तो नो नीड टू वरी, ठीक है। सर, व्हाट इंडियन कैन लर्न फ्रॉम इकोनॉमिक्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ रिसर्च एंड अदर देन ह्यूमैनिटी सब्जेक्ट? व्हाट आर द ड्रॉबैक्स लिमिटेशन ऑफ एआई दैट वी मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ? देखिए, ड्रॉबैक्स जो हैं इसके, मैंने पिछली बार भी कही थी, शायद इनिशियली हमने इस चीज पे विषय पे बात की। ड्रॉबैक्स ऐसे हैं कि ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है ये वल्नरेबल है, डिसरप्टिव है। वल्नरेबल कैसी है कि आपकी जो breach of privacy, breach of your, you can say the data, okay, your personal data, that is always at stake जब ये टेक्नोलॉजी आप यूज करते हैं। तो डेफिनेटली देर आर ड्रॉबैक्स, लिमिटेशन, ओके। एज लॉन्ग एज गवर्नमेंट ने इस पे कोई व्हाइट पेपर नहीं निकाला तो जब तक चीजें ठीक चल रही हैं, लेकिन आने वाले दिनों में डेफिनेटली ये एक बड़ा चैलेंज है आपके और मेरे लिए, और ना सिर्फ टीचिंग कम्युनिटी के लिए, लेकिन अगर आप इसके लिए दूसरा कोई भी प्रोफेशन देखें, जैसे कि आप देखें लॉ, या आप चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट देखें, या आप यू नेम दी प्रोफेशन, या एक मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर देखें, तो सभी के लिए चैलेंजेस हैं। तो मेरा कहना शॉर्ट में यही रहेगा कि इस टेक्नोलॉजी को एज ए कॉम्प्लीमेंट यूज करिए। ओवर रिलायंट ऑन दिस टेक्नोलॉजी इज हाईली डेंजरस। जैसे कि कुछ डेवलप्ड नेशन में, अगर आप यूरोपियन यूनियन में देखेंगे तो बहुत सारे मुल्कों में यूज ऑफ दिस एआई टूल इज बैन, क्योंकि बिकॉज इट इज किलिंग दी क्रिएटिविटी ऑफ स्टूडेंट। तो अभी फिलहाल अपने देश में इस तरह की बातें नहीं है, अपने यहाँ कोई गाइडलाइंस नहीं है, लेकिन ये चैलेंजेस तो है आपको आने वाले दिनों में। ठीक है, सो आई एम एक्सट्रीमली ग्रेटफुल टू दी संतोष चौहान सर। और कोई मेरे ख्याल से, सर कैन यू प्लीज शेयर दिस पीडीएफ? यस डेफिनेटली आई विल शेयर, आई विल पुट इट इन दी व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप, नो वरीज, आपको मिल जाएगा ये। ठीक है, तो मेरे ख्याल से इट्स इनफ कि दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम माय एंड, राइट? So let me, yes,
Shall we conclude, sir? If you could
yes,
permit.
please. Over to you.
So on behalf of all the participants and both the organizers, I extend my sincere thanks to Professor Atik sir for such a wonderful session. So really, it was a very wonderful tools that will be very essential and useful. But definitely the ethical use of this AI is very important, and you have told here. So we'll assure that we will implement these tools and the technology in exist as expected by the policy makers in our higher education. We are really thankful to you, sir. Rather than Sunday, the learning aspect of the participants still connected by 55 and
That
56 participants are still connected. So we are
that
really
shows their
appreciable
seriousness.
to the participants also for their learning efforts they have taken, and we are all also thankful and appreciable to the management as well as the trustees of this Shivaji Education Society and the principal Professor V.C. sir as well as Deepak Koche sir and all the participants who have actively engaged in this program. So with this consent, I once again extend my sincere thanks to Professor Atik sir and all the participants, and I would like to declare that this session will be over here. We will stop now and meet tomorrow. Participants, the tomorrow session will be from 2 p.m. onwards. On the regular time, I have shared the link. One more instructions, there will be MCQ assessment. I have shared the link by email as well as WhatsApp group. And you can please appear for this MCQ test. It will be remain open by tomorrow. Okay. So we'll stop now here and meet tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you one and all once